Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lost Initiative Dark Sun Season 2 finale. At least in theory, it's a finale. I know last night was supposed to be Maggie's last session with us, and you know, that ended up... Well, Mike just sucks as a DM, so hopefully I can hold promises.
All right, let's talk about penises for about an hour real quick, guys.
Oh, God.
That was on you, not me.
If you wanna talk about something really quick, because this is such a
quote Mike here,
hype builder.
As you are sucked down into the fleshy bridge of loving, tender dicks.
Yum.
Wasn't that pretty close?
That wasn't even close to what I said.
Sure. Fleshy. There was
Fleshy because you were in you got swallowed by a giant fish.
Spoiler alert. Sucky, fleshy, dicky. I don't know. I'm pretty close. Nipple infested lining of the. Go ahead, Scott. Take it.
Lost Initiative, the show for families.
You guys knew. You had to have known when you invited me on that I would wreck all of that.
This is PG Wade.
Listen, that went out the window when we had Jesse on as well. Like,
Was he bad? I don't recall him being bad.
he was bombastic when it came to his Wookiee, which I enjoyed.
Bombastic. I'm not going to dispute that, but he wasn't vulgar, was he?
No, maybe not vulgar.
Violent, like ripping arms off and spewing blood
yeah.
while beating people. Sure. But that's that's fun for everyone, But all right.
You guys didn't vet properly if you thought that I would be on that category.
Wade, in all honesty, I'm incredibly impressed with your play. Having never played a tabletop RPG as well. You're
Can I get some bonus XP for that?
You know what? I think there's room for improvement.
You're right, Scott, but with enough practice, I think you'll be okay.
Mortifer loses the level, so. All right. So, anyways, it'd be fun to play that game again sometime.
Yeah, the D&D thing that you missed, Mike.
Yeah, except next time I get to have Mike there too.
The one where you and I would just lose levels the whole time, and Doxy would get levels.
Well, she's better than you. She's Doxy.
Can't dispute that, but I definitely deserve some levels.
So, anyways, let's catch everybody up on what happened last session. So, because it was a few weeks ago due to scheduling and Mike and whatnot, mostly Mike. So, last time we played, you guys had finally confronted the big leader boss person man, the champions, by trying to steal his orb and run away.
First of all, trying is the wrong word. Successfully is the actual answer.
I wasn't successful. Mortifer, help!
Hey, Jack went in with a plan.
Mortifer, save me!
Listen, Jack is genuinely the friend of Mortifer. Jack really enjoys Mortifer. But Jack enjoys himself a little more than he enjoys Mortifer, so if push comes to shove, if I can use a hammer to be a hammer, I'm gonna get the hammer.
Yeah, typically you don't use a hammer against a spaceship.
Well, okay, because, here's the thing. When the screwdriver and the sneaking fails, sometimes you gotta go the old American route and just hit it hard enough and hope that buys you enough time or just fix
Dark
it.
Sun.
Are you...
The old American.
I was like, is that your response? He was getting dragged across the room. You're like, America!
Did it work?
Did red, white, and blue.
Did it work? The answer is yes.
No.
People are saying in chat the music is loud.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you for the heads up.
Can I paint my mall to be red, white, and blue? Let's get the flag on the side.
Yeah, I kind of like. Can we get FSO Zombie to change your outfit on Mortifer to just be like the American flag?
Like
Uncle Sam.
Really short shorts, American flag style.
There you go. Ridiculous hat, big white beard, and American flag loincloth. That's what we need.
We need a shotgun instead of a mall.
Oh, there you go.
God.
All right.
That's
anyways.
what you missed, everyone.
So Mike was being dragged across the room, yelled "America!" and then Wade proceeded to go running in there crazy fast and start beating on everything with his hammer. A whole bunch of shenanigans happened. Eventually, Mike slipped away with the orb in his possession. Wade got locked down. And Dave went chasing after, like, hey, I want to be involved too. Mike successfully combines the orbs with the crystal that you had gotten from the bottom of one of the keeps. Everything kind of like did its tendril magic-y stuff. It was a scene of just magic happening all over the place that ended with a amorphous white orb in front of you. You touch the orb because you're brilliant and drop dead. Which moments later we realized was you just having your soul sucked into the astral plane, effectively making you astral project against your will. And now you're just kind of like floating around there in the ether.
Yep.
Having witnessed the tail end of that, you had Einar realized that he could actually grab that orb and use it to kind of like move around. And he was tasked with transporting that orb to the last place where you guys needed to go, which was the hold on, what's the name of that location? The Hall of Conquest. Going inside the Hall of Conquest, what you saw was a whole bunch of those crystals that you have come across a couple of times. One of them you fabricate it yourself and you're holding to transport the orb, lining up and down the place. The whole thing seems to be like a channeling tube for whatever kind of magic or psionics or energy that goes on here. At the top of that tower, you had discovered that there's kind of like a chamber where everybody would stand around this this cage that you're supposed to standing in the middle with the amorphous orb and channel all of their magics and psionics and everything into it, more or less giving you their channeled energy to control the orb to do something, which we haven't decided what that is yet. Along the way, Mortifer, who had been kind of like locked down for a couple of moments, was able to eventually be released, followed after them, sneakily at first, and then made himself very well known. They didn't seem to attack him, kind of like, let the bug be a bug, and just ignored him. And you walked into the tower as they were kind of getting to the top. You're at the bottom. They're aware that you're there, but once again, just ignoring you because they just didn't have a concern about you. You don't seem to be attacking or being aggressive. And Dave kind of made a small plea in your favor. They're all now lined up. They've done their channel. The Psi crown that was inside the cage is now being rested upon Einar's head, and he can feel the control of their metaconcert being shifted from the one who had summoned it originally over into being in your control, Einar. You can actually feel all of their psionic energies, all of their powers, the powers that they know, the feats that they have access to that manipulate their powers, your own included, everything coming into this one, think like almost a genie-esque like creature that is forming up and above all of you. Now, while you can see this creature clear as day, Einar, as can the others around that are part of the metaconcert, you, Mortifer, cannot. But instead, what you see is little wisps of energy that almost look like it's moving of its own volition, almost look like there might be an entity that's there, but it's just barely out of sight. Sometimes you just get glimpses that there's something there in this, another presence in this room with you. As a reminder of what Metaconcert is, like I said, all the powers combined, I am Captain Planet. So, I believe we finished last session with Mortifer being like, yo, what's going on, Einar? I'm trying to get a bead on what's going on in your head. And you rolled a sense motive of?
21.
Confirm that. Versus Einer's bluff of
11. 21 and 11.
And so that means you beat it by a solid 10. And we had ended last session literally with saying, why don't we look at, why don't you kind of, tell me what it is that I'm getting a read off of you. So I'm going to do that to Dave in 1 second. Just a quick question to chat. Is the music volume much better? I fixed it ages ago. I just didn't see any update on that one. Thanks. Go ahead, Dave.
All right. So, and you kind of like look at my expression. You're trying to like read my outward body language, and you do get a sense that I seem to be following. Seem to be following the plan perfectly. Yet, like at the last moment, you can kind of see that there's like a glint in my eye, and you get a sense, and you see this like small kind of like smirk just crack my lips ever so slightly, and you get this sense because you're so perceptive that I'm about to do something crazy.
Okay, crazy. So you're okay. I don't remember exactly what was said right before. So I have a sense that you're about to not follow the plan that they have in place in some way.
Yes, following the plan would be like doing normal. Crazy would be opposite of that.
All right, then Mortifer will continue pacing. He will probably he'll take a rest, probably standing somewhere behind the leader that they beat the crap out of earlier. And for now, he will hold to see how this seems to be going. But I don't know if I need to continually run sense motives, Scott, or what I need to do to try to see if I think shit's about to go wrong. I want to be able to jump in and if I can sense it. I don't know what I need to roll for that, but
so more or less like
if I get a feeling that Hellspawn's about to be summoned through the sky, I want to have a chance to go and like punch a dude in the asshole. I mean it's booty butt. Family friendly.
His booty butt.
Yeah, I want to punch his booty butt.
You want to hammer his ass?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So he use psionic power hammer and target. What we're gonna do actually like targeting.
No, he's gonna maul him.
I specifically want to shove the handle of my maul.
Okay, moving on. You
and then enlarge.
No.
You have that glint. You have that glint in your eye, and he's kind of like on edge, but accepting the situation, reading it, moving forward. I don't know if you quite have the presence of mind to read back what because as he was asking this question of you or like reading you or whatever, you were having insane amounts of concentration of power and whatnot falling under your control. So it's almost like your own consciousness of your surroundings is kind of being pulled away into a split focus of the presence of mind that it requires to be here. What do you do, Dave, with all this focus, all these power points, all these abilities that you have before you, and you know that you're holding a direct link into the astral plane, something that hasn't existed on this world in a long time?
So step one is that what's seeming like completely normal to the goings on, I am going to reach in. I'm going to try to find a certain lost individual and pull him back to this plane of existence.
So you're talking about the one that you all serve?
No. The hairier one.
Hey, I'm not hairy. I'm like me in real life. I'm very smooth.
I see.
I would not describe you as smooth.
Well, minus the beard. Jack doesn't have a beard.
Remember, when I've known you many years without having that beard, so
exactly.
you're quite hairy to me now.
You also knew me when I was 4'11" and like the tiniest boy in the world.
You were so cute.
Anyway,
so I'm gonna go for Jack.
All right, so you kind of just like reach in with your focus and grab at Jack and want to pull him out. It's pretty easy for you to do so, but I'm going to require a spellcraft check. This is a sidecraft, technically.
Jack you touch.
Oh boy, season finale. You gotta get groping.
Ooh,
Whatever part you please. And you yank him towards yourself. You pull him into this. You pull him into this realm, and in doing so, you were still carrying Jack. Was it a fireman carry over your shoulder, or was it like damsel in distress so you can get the booty shot?
Oh, they all left me in the room.
No. We brought you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wherever you put me.
So remind me, Wade. Were you fireman carry, or were you like damsel in distress booty shot over the shoulder? Like how did you have Jack
I honestly don't remember actually carrying him. I thought they dropped Jack's body by me.
Yeah, you were carrying Jack with you because you wanted to keep him
Sure.
safe, weren't you?
Of course I was. I remember that
Gross.
very clearly now.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had him over one shoulder probably, so that way I could just kind of like grab his feet and throw him off if I needed to attack someone.
Did you not have Jack with you? I thought you did just because you didn't want to leave him unprotected elsewhere.
I
And you
don't
certainly
remember
didn't
well
bring him to be
enough.
protected by Shashuk.
I don't remember well enough to actually say. So if you think I brought him, I'll say I did, but I don't remember. I don't remember.
I honestly believe you did.
I would have said you did just because if there's a chance for him to get healed, it was here.
Yeah, if that's fine.
Yeah, sorry. So moving on.
In
Continuity.
my image, when I made all this planning, he was here. If he's not here, it's gonna really screw me up. So that's good.
Well, you wouldn't have dropped his body off with me if you wanted him there. So maybe, yeah.
Also, it doesn't make a logical sense for Mortifer to leave him undefended because that's his bum brother. So
Near Shashuk, who probably would.
Well, Shashuk is like he got whammied.
yeah, Shashuk is on the edge of death because of that cloud.
He was in the middle.
Oh,
of,
yeah, that's right, the death
waited,
cloud.
And then like shit came down, a cloud of fart smoke started taking his life away. And then we all left, and now his we don't need to go there. Yeah, he's had a bad time now.
So you pull him to. So all of a sudden, you Jack are literally just trying to move different directions, trying to find
he
something
literally the whole time was
floating
just
through the abyss. Like, and
Yeah,
I imagine it's
I'm
almost
sure
like.
at some point there is just like Superman. This is
I love
great.
Dark Sun Superman lore.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably like, yeah. If Superman existed in Dark,
He's over there like.
he'd be the evil, red-eyed, like the horrible, mean Superman. The only good Superman is the villain Superman.
So you all of a sudden, Jack, you feel yourself flying literally to something for the first time. You actually feel yourself like, oh no, like gravity's
maybe
kicking
it's
back
fear.
in. You can feel you're actually being pulled towards something. You can see something off into the distance. You actually see a shape, and it's coming at you way more rapidly than you're prepared for. Maybe even like a moment of panic. You're like, ah, slow down. Too fast. How fast am I going? And all of a sudden, coming at you so quick, it just encompasses all of everything that you can see and be present of. You are, and you can feel like the jolt on your shoulder, Mortifer, as you just take a deep breath in. You look about, and all of a sudden you notice that you are very much somewhere else. You're very much sometime else. You don't even know what the hell is going on. It's just startling to say the least.
Okay. I'm sure there's moments then where Jack literally says nothing. He's just getting his wits about him.
How damaged? Can I do a medicine check to see how damaged he is from whatever the hell? Because I don't even know what happened to him. I don't
So
remember if I
fucked up.
already or not. Did I?
I lost a lot of con.
The goddamn mess.
I probably can't do much for that.
Yeah, I'm at 8 con right now. That's like, I'm at, and okay, here, my max hit points right now is 6. I have 5. So I'm
Would a
I'm
cleansed
healthy.
body? Would a cleansed body heal all that?
Not all, but cleanse body does work. And so,
How many power points do you have, Mortifer?
no, it's not a matter of
I've
power
got a
points.
power stone of cleansed body.
It's a single power stone cleanse body, yeah.
Oh.
So you definitely, I believe you could do that. Just give me 1 second.
Sure. I just figured while the ritual's going on and I'm trying to keep an eye out, if Jack woke up, I'd probably be like, "You don't look so good."
Living creatures
Mortifer will
touch.
Hit you with rock. Feel better.
So yeah, it was one of those things where you already knew he was fucked up from just looking at him before. So as he
Yeah.
comes to, this is probably just like you say whatever you'd like, and you can press the rock to him.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you're gonna roll a d4, and then I'll describe it.
Roll 1d4.
Average.
Okay. So it's one of those things where as you take the rock, what is it that you say to him as he comes to?
Jack doesn't look so good here.
You can feel the psionic energies pulsing from the rock itself, and so as you hold the rock, you crumble it into your hands, just turning it into effectively powder. But the physical rock does. The physical crystal doesn't matter. The psionic energy that was inside the crystal remains within your body, and you can feel it touching your mind for moments. You can actually feel a power and a door effectively opening up in your minds that you didn't have prior. You can feel it sitting there, and the energy surging in your mind, telling you that you need to use it now. And so you reach out and you touch Jack, and you can feel that like pulse throughout his body as his body literally starts to get more life to it. His liver functions a little bit better. There's a little bit more strength to his bones. His white blood cell count goes back up.
So what do I gain here?
2 constitution back.
2 con? Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
which is kind of important because I think that increases your health points from whatever they were plus whatever your level is.
Yep.
So what are you, level 6?
Yep.
So 6 more health points, which is again very important for you.
That only
Per
for my
level,
max, or does my current go up as well, or just my max?
Just your max.
Max. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Nope.
current as well. Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
6 per level or 6 total?
6 total because it was 1 per level.
Oh, okay.
Because his con modifier went up by 1.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The modifier went up. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
What's your con at now?
My con is at a 10. My max HP is at 12.
There you go. Good news. So you're alive, you're conscious, and your con is back somewhere that's respectable. Your health points still suck.
Yep.
So, as Wise Girl 5595 said, a level 3 wizard.
There you go. And Jack would probably not be immediately back on his feet. He'd probably still be reeling from what the fuck just happened. So he doesn't really say anything.
Yeah. You're very disoriented.
Mortifer will still just kind of like not drop you, but he would like
Place
quickly
me
take
down
you
gently. Yeah,
So that
I
way
would
you have
probably.
one less thing to worry about if things start to go wrong.
Yeah, I probably like push myself up against the wall and bring my knees close and just kind of just get right in my head what just happened.
I think he'll even whisper as he sits you. I'd be like, "Be ready, just in case."
He kind of gives you like a tentative thumbs up.
He is one of those what my mom would call an Irish whisper. It echoes all the way up the the tower. Like, ooh, everybody hears it. No,
I don't know if they care. They're kind of ignoring me to do their like "Uingi Ungarie."
So-
Dave will save us all. Hey hey.
So Dave, you actually feel from all of them. They felt the pulse of energy come from you. You clearly had enacted a power to do some sort of pulling, and it's almost like one of those. As they all also have their senses kind of blurred, they kind of like physically, literally are looking around to see what it was that you had pulled, but are not seeing anything there. And you could start to feel as your mind is somewhat touching theirs, a little bit of like a curiosity amongst them.
I
a little bit of
will
recoil.
if I can communicate with them mentally, like I'll just be like had to save Jack, like almost like with almost a resigned like sense.
I'm going to allow you to bluff that for me, but because you do have access to one of the other people's feats, you are welcome to get an actual plus 10 to this bluff because they have the psionic feat that does that.
Hey, there we go. 31.
Okay, so it's one of those things where you probably didn't convince everybody, but you quelled the concerns enough for now, and you can feel like anxiety and like almost like a push from all of them to it's time for us to do this.
Yes, and that is my plan, definitely.
So they're kind of sitting back and watching. The others are concentrating, trying to focus their energy with you. What is it that you're doing next?
All right, so
Any of this, or is this already,
That was in their minds. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in our minds.
yeah, and you don't have the ability to tap that.
Anyway,
Mortifer could tap in.
so from what I understand is that the leader guy, the guy we're trying to bring back, his power is separate from his body. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, not exactly. What you're trying to do is pull the leader here, who you already know who the leader is. And I don't know if you've ever shared it with everybody else, but he already has immense power. You're trying to get the rest of power for him, the power that he was planning on getting this whole while.
Okay, so I am going to find that rest of power, just like locate it.
Okay. So you start searching into the astral plane, searching out there, deep, far, wide, trying to find where it is that this well of power is. Now, I'm going to have you roll me a knowledge. You have knowledge of planes, correct?
Correct.
You're going to be rolling me a knowledge of the planes check for this. However, the only reason why this is feasible is because your path, where your search is going on, is guided by the minds of those around you. Each one of them having their own unique abilities that are able to guide you to exactly what it is that you're looking for. This well of power that exists far away from here, deep, deep, deep into the astral plane. So you can roll that check for me.
Boom.
Natty 1. No. So you are searching, trying to find this power. And as you're searching throughout the plane, you notice many things. You knew of the astral plane before. You had studied it for your entire very long life, trying to find out what it is that was beyond. And you were only able to discover so much. you understand what the astral plane is at its basics, and you know how to manipulate the energies that exist there. And you know that things, physical things, as well as spiritual things, reside within the astral plane, which is why it was that you were able to literally grab Jack's soul and pull it back. But for the first time ever, you're able to actually see many of the things that you've discovered to be true in the past. You can actually literally see a ginormous ship traveling through the astral plane and these foreign looking creatures upon it. You can see these huge forms, almost seem like worlds themselves, that are somewhat humanoid in shape, though still seemingly dead. Even further and deeper into the astral plane, you can find what's most easily described as these crystals that exist out there, far and deep. But on closer inspection, the crystals become closer and closer. As you get closer to them, you realize that they are more massive than you can even imagine. And by peering into them, focusing at different regions that exist there, you notice that there's whole worlds that exist within space that are within these crystals. Whole worlds that exist within space that are populated by many peoples of all different creeds and races and whatnot. Even some that you've never even heard of or can imagine. But that's not what you're trying to find. That's just as part of your search. As you continue to search further and further, you do come across this area, almost as though it's like a temple that exists within one of those ginormous forms, one of the forms I was describing beforehand, somewhat humanoid in shape. You can almost see a feminine-esque facial features from afar, but as you get much closer, it just becomes mountain ranges and just becomes open fields and whatnot. Though the land here all seems to be dead throughout the entire structure. The structure itself is not uniform, is not all together either. It's broken apart into different bits. All dead except for one spot that is immediately around this one particular temple. A temple that is resonating with incredible amount of power. As you pull yourself closer to it, you can feel this power is immeasurable. It's something beyond what a mortal can grasp. It's hard to describe the sensation that you feel as you're coming upon it and realizing that it's literally there waiting to be taken.
And I take it.
Well, I just said it's hard for a mortal to comprehend or grasp. How is it that you take it, Dave?
You said it was waiting to be taken.
So he takes it.
He has a +9 against takeable things.
You know things about the planes that most others don't, because like I said, you've studied them and you know the ancient texts and ancient beliefs of what other planes were. Planes are theoretically infinite in size and have their own time structures, infinite in size, space, so on and so forth. The astral plane is believed to be that too, but only by the ignorant. Those that are truly understanding of the astral plane, my daughter throwing books out of her bed. It's like, what the hell is that? Those that are truly understanding of what the astral plane is know that the astral plane is actually a place that has no time or space. And so even though it took you who knows how long to search and find what it was that you were looking for, who knows how far it is from where you are, space is nothing. And so instantly you fold the space between where it was and where it is, and you just imagine it is at the realm, at the hole that you have that's tearing between your world, your plane, and that one. And the power is immediately there before you. As that power comes into your plane, you can see the fabric of reality. This is all of you, is starting to literally warp around you. The walls themselves, space itself all around you is starting to warp and bend in ways that make you feel as though you're off balance and it's kind of like being thrown about, but at the same time are completely stuck to where it is that you are, incapable of moving. It's a sensation that you've never experienced before and likely will never experience again, as you literally see another reality being pulled into your own. The power is so incredible that immediately it starts trying to find something to bind to. And you know that it is important that it does, because as it's being pulled through this small little hole that you have, it's literally starting to tear the fabrics of reality around it. It is starting to rip open at all sides of the small little sphere.
So I make a motion, like, mentally with his power, to grab to find the master, grab a hold of him, and it looks like I'm pulling them close to put the power into them. However, if I'm able to,
so my apologies. The master, the one that you and the champions all serve. You try to search for him, and with your mind, it's actually incredibly easy to do so because where he is, there was actually a direct link, almost like a subconscious, like mental link between him and your grandfather himself. Your grandfather being Herrick. The two of them actually had like a link that makes it super easy for you to trace back to exactly where he is. And you know that he is underneath that mountain that you've always known that he was under, that you once visited a long, long time ago when you were pulled into the service a long, long time ago. Excuse me. And you were sent to do these tasks. You feel that his presence is there. And as your minds, the collective minds of all, 10 of you together, are there, you touch his mind, you feel his actual, like his eyes like open, he brings his head up from where he was concentrating and he stands up, and you can feel him doing this, literally standing up and being prepared to be pulled from where he is to where you are.
So like my mind like wraps around him ready to pull, like, you know, like it, like the whole feeling like completely makes him believe that like he's about to be pulled into reality. So I can shove the power into him. However, I'm able to, at like the last moment, just so, like no one, like everyone's maybe they're basking in like the fact that it's finally going to happen, but I am going to redirect the power and put it in a different vessel.
Okay.
The bait and switch.
Okay. Well, I want to know what vessel that is, but I suppose since you're going to do this that way, could you roll me a spellcraft check?
Okay, excuse me. Is me? Yes. Come on.
Natty one. Good roll. Okay. What vessel are you attempting to put this in?
Well, there's two of them technically.
Oh no. Oh, you're gonna fuck this campaign sideways so hard.
Excuse me?
Scott did not expect this.
Where are you putting this power?
I think one is sitting against the wall and one has a giant maul in his hands.
That would be accurate.
No. This is either the greatest or worst thing ever, and I have no idea.
It might
which.
rip us apart, but that'd be great. I'm down. Do it.
I did specifically to say that this was more power than a mortal can handle.
So,
But he's putting it in half.
what about two more?
I guess I'll change my name to Immortal for.
Oh, God. Okay, and now I get to use the insane power to mute. So you guys okay. So you take that insane amount of power and you want to almost like divide it between the two of them. Okay.
Correct, sir.
So you take the power that literally is ripping its way.
Honestly, Jack would be proud to run this experiment, knowing that it could kill us, but you got to know. There.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it blows, it completely like decimates you and you explode into bloody like big bloody piles. I'll just put it in the math and be like, I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see.
Honestly, again, I understand. 100% go for it.
Because if I wanted to, if I'm gonna take the power, I'm gonna make sure like it's even feasible. And like I got two people over here.
Oh, I see. We're your guinea pigs. Okay.
You're gonna split it 3 ways.
No, that's dangerous.
Well, the problem is you rolled a 24, so I'm going to allow you to direct this power wherever it is that you'd like. However, it's going to have to be an individual target. You can't actually schism it into 2 different targets.
That's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. Well, Mortifer would be funnier, but I think but I think Jack would use it better. So I'm gonna choose Jack.
Mortifer.
Here we go. Here we go. Jack is gonna get ripped apart. I'm so pumped. If this is how Jack goes out, I'm down.
Also, I think also Jack would appreciate this. I think.
If he wasn't an alchemist and instead was like a psionics.
No. In my opinion, and also my opinion, Jack, you started all this in for a penny.
In per pound. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I just want to see like me get levitated as my skin is ripped from my muscles, and I'm just like, the screams coming out of my mouth are just alien and incoherent, and then I just like implode.
I should have brought a random slave with me. We could have done the test real.
Let's see. All right, let's go.
I don't want to
Scott was not. Did you tell
What if,
Scott this was your plan?
what if it works and the slave gained all this power?
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
That's
Oh.
also true.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
Do it.
So you take this incredible amount of power, and so literally, as I was describing beforehand, the power itself is making reality itself. Space and everything around you is starting to warp in these big, massive waves. You can see reality starting to rip and tear at the seams. These are spidering off from the sphere that you're holding into the astral plane. And you take this power and you focus all of the energies. You literally have this metaconcert being above you drop down and wrap using all of your knowledge of what's it called? The astral materials. All of your knowledge of how it is that you can manipulate that plane, manipulate this plane itself using the astral energy. You grab all of the power of the metaconcert that's floating above your head, and you have it bring itself down and literally wrap its massive arms around this power, and just kind of like directs it, use itself as a channel to direct it downwards at Jack. At the same time that you do this, you can feel the anticipation. You can feel the excitement of everybody around you. They're like, oh, as they're looking up at the power, they bring their focus down, and then simultaneously, all of them kind of like lean forward and look down to see what's happening as the power itself shoots downwards at Jack. And
I'm still like trying to get my bearings. Like, holy fuck, what happened? Where was I?
There's a moment of confusion because it's not that the power is like bright and so it's blinding with this big flash of light or anything like that. It's just that they still have that blurred vision. So they still have kind of like their senses pulled one way or the other. And so things are a bit hazy, so they can't quite see what's going on down there. They felt the master's mind. They felt the anticipation. They feel the power being transported. Jack.
Oh, God.
You literally feel every fiber of your being on fire in ways most painful. Like you have never experienced ever. It is like your entire body is literally on fire, down to the finest nerve that you have. This is so painful, you couldn't scream if you wanted to. You don't have the ability to control your lungs to let the air out. You cannot do that. Every part of you is being ripped apart, is being destroyed.
You're welcome, best buddy.
I imagine.
I want my power stone back.
All right. Well, Jack is stuck. Then he's not doing anything other than.
At least I cleaned you before you were lit on fire.
I want to be clear. Literally every atom in your body is being destroyed.
No, I got you. I don't know what to tell
by
you.
this power.
What do you want me to do?
It's too much. It's too much, Einar. You need to move it. It can't stay there. If it just stays on Jack, is it like
100% chance that I disintegrate, or like a?
You get this idea that there could be just a very negative reaction with this amount of energy balled up in something that can't contain it.
Well,
I didn't get to make a roll. Who knows? Maybe I can.
If I have the ability, if I could have it share it with my original plan and have some of it go into the big guy next to him.
Almost like a chain lightning sort of scenario. Roll me a spellcraft check.
Look, there's a lot of space there. I'm saying, look, he's a huge guy.
Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute as well.
I know. I volunteer as tribute. I keep bringing up the astral construct.
The balls on me are so big they can hold any amount of energy.
Yeah, same roll.
24.
Same roll.
Okay, so you do succeed in almost again like chain lightning off of Jack, forcing it over. So Mortifer just sees this thing happen to Jack, and Mortifer himself is probably thinking to himself he's been betrayed. Jack is literally starting to glow and starting to burn up. You can see the pain, but you can't react, and he's starting to almost. I think he's literally disintegrating in front of you.
If you want a visual, think about the ending of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, all right. I got you.
I think that's the perfect image, where they're all like just sharing the power to keep it from killing them.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Wow. Hold hands.
Yeah, let's do a dance.
So anyways,
All right.
so it goes over to Mortifer. Mortifer, same thing. You are a slave. You have been tortured. You have been beaten. You have almost died in arenas and since many times. And you've been forced to sit in an immovable sphere for who knows how long. I mean, there are many painful things you've had to endure, and nothing can compare to what this is. Unfortunately, despite how massive you are, you could actually also feel literally every fiber of your being destroyed by the sheer power of what this is.
Worth it.
Every atom of your body is also being destroyed. There's still too much there, Dave. What's your next plan?
Split it to you.
All right, it's gonna hit me then. Here we go.
Let's do it.
This is the end.
And then we just call Shashuk if we need a fourth.
Yeah, no, shit. Get back on the stream quick. He dragged himself up the stairs like, I'm part of this too.
Waiting for your roll, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna screw this up. Watch on when it's
Just on you.
Oh, excellent roll.
That's great.
It was good enough for me. It's good enough for you, buddy.
So,
All right, I can handle a third of this power. I'm just throwing that out there.
Same.
You've seen my balls. They were pretty big a couple times in this campaign.
the same exact thing happens as what happened beforehand. The power, like a chain lightning, comes off of him and starts diverting back up towards you and starts setting every fiber of your being on fire. You cannot even begin to explain the pain that you're in. Every fiber of your being is being destroyed. Every fiber of your being is being destroyed, and every part of you is just utterly burnt away. Every atom of all of your bodies just snuffs out of existence.
Are we gonna form into like one super PC?
I think what we need at this point in time
This is our first break.
is take our first break.
No!
I think we need to take a break.
Finish me, Daddy!
And we'll be back in a couple of minutes for our ending credits. So we'll see you all shortly.
Finish me!
Bye.
And all the champion. Oh, sorry.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hour 2. Everyone's dead.
Right.
All of their physical bodies have been destroyed,
Cool.
and their souls have been released.
Right. I'm glad I did this.
Fortunately for you, your souls are currently lingering around in what is now a kind of mix between what is the astral plane and what is the material plane of the world that you're on, Athos, right? So all three of you are still kind of metaphysically still there. And
we bonded with that power beam, right?
yeah, that's nice. And not really going anywhere. The world around you almost seems to be frozen. Not entirely, but everything around you seems to be moving at insanely slow speeds.
Then we should let it go, right?
And muting him?
No, not again.
No, wait!
So, at insanely slow speeds around you, as you guys are witnessing things from a semi-astral plane perspective, where again time doesn't exist there. So you're seeing things at an insanely slow speed. All three of you, at this moment, have full cognizance. No stat damage to your mental stats, at least. Nothing wrong with you whatsoever, aside from, of course, lacking all physical form and just being these metaphysical souls, at least for the moment. The beam between all of your physical forms, from where it was to Jack, to Mortifer, back to Einar, is still there, and you can see it. It's kind of like around you, but through you at the same time. And again, it's not this like blinding light or anything like that, so you can see. It's just energy.
It's like I can touch you.
Do we have like ghostly energy boners?
No, but you do have the ability to speak to one another.
You guys want to see? Do you guys want to see my ghostly energy boner?
So I would call. I call out, and I just say, Jack, Mortifer. It's the only thing I could think of. I have doomed us all.
I don't know if Mortifer is smart enough to know what's happened.
Even Jack wouldn't necessarily know what's happened because he's not a psionic, really. He's just an alchemist with some base level psionic abilities, like all people in Athos.
Where have you taken us, Einar?
You have let go of your mortal coil. You now exist as the psionic energy which exists in all people of Athos.
So we are gods or ghosts?
I'm not sure. If we were ghosts, we would not be able to talk. We'd be gone to another place. But here we are, something
Gods,
in between.
Mortifer knew this would happen one day.
Am I able to do anything? Am I able to use my powers?
You still are psychically in existence, and so you still seem to have a link to that wealth of power and whatnot that exists beforehand, and you still have the ability to manipulate astral material to make whatever you'd like.
Can I remake our bodies out of astral stuff?
Yes.
I'm gonna roll some sculpting checks.
Roll the worst on Wade.
Roll it for.
All right. First on me. All right, it's pretty good. Then we're gonna do Jack.
Okay.
He's a little blocky.
All right, well, that's all right. I look like Minecraft Steve. Hey, we're all right. We're not bad. We're all within, like, acceptable range.
This bicep seems slightly smaller than I remember.
Utilizing astral material, you actually recreates new bodies, much stronger. I mean, we all had seen what your constructs can do before. Much stronger than what they were beforehand. Much more durable than what bodies existed beforehand out of simple fleshy material. You recreate them where? Exactly where you guys are standing prior?
Like basically next to where where we were standing prior, and I'm gonna see if we can possess and move them.
Okay. Why don't you roll me a spellcraft check to see if you can push all of you back into more or less like we were beforehand, ending in astral projection.
Do you want to see my much improved astral
Come on, don't roll a 9. Ugh.
So this is what happens.
Okay.
Jack,
That's always a good start. All right, here's what happens.
same as you were doing originally. You take Jack and you focus, and you force Jack into the body. All of a sudden, Jack feels fucking weird. For one, his con isn't down anymore. All his ability scores aren't gone anymore, and we'll get to the rest later on. But Jack feels weird. He doesn't feel like he's in his own body. He feels like he's in something different, almost like it's made out of like a hardened rubber or something strange, or it does not feel like him. But at the same time, he can like stretch out his arms and maneuver it all as he's always been able to do so beforehand. It just feels foreign to him.
Is it like I'm piloting an Ava?
You then manipulate.
That's how I imagine it.
You then manipulate. What's his name? Mortifer into his own body.
Let's try again. Oh my goodness. God, I'm not good at this.
Oh, I wasn't having you roll again.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
So you manipulate Mortifer into his own body, and once again, things just seem different. It just seems foreign to him, as I was describing just moments ago. But he's able to get himself comfortable with it. The amount of concentration it took just to put the two of them in and then to focus on you, unfortunately, kind of broke the focus of what it was you were trying to do. The amount of power that was building up on your own body beforehand, that power was still pouring up into this direction and was pouring into your new body as well, which unfortunately was also just utterly destroyed by the amount of power that was there. And the power is continuing to come forward towards you.
Okay.
You are not able to stop it anymore. You know that it's going to come into you, even in your metaphysical state, and you're likely going to be destroyed.
Okay. Can I like go to the astral plane? Like,
why don't you roll me a spellcraft check?
oh God, these spellcraft checks. Roll better. There we go. ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus Christ, motherfucker! Okay,
Yay!
motherfucker.
No, scratch.
It immediately goes to like the heroic theme.
All right, so this is what happens. As that power is coming towards you, you're not able to stop it. You literally you can see your end coming. There's nothing that you're going to be able to do. This is going to end you as you see as you exist. You're going to be stuff out of existence. But at the very least, you know that your two friends are able, at least for moments, who knows what's going to happen with these fuckers, for these moments are going to be able to continue on. They're at least going to live for now. You start to resign yourself to the idea that this is it. I've lived a long life. But then you get another idea. You remember something else that you had researched long ago. Something else that might exist.
Yeah.
And you get a better idea.
Yep.
You take your sheer force of will, every bit of that remaining power that you have before you, and instead of trying to stop the power that's coming your way, you start to try to bend it around where you are. You take every bit of astral material that you can and just try to throw all this astral material at it, breaking up the power. And the power is starting to wrap its way around you, starting to almost cocoon around you as this like sphere of just astral material is infinitely pouring out of this hole that exists right near where you are, standing directly in front of you. And you're literally just using your power to just continue pouring out more and more, making this sphere, this almost oblong sphere around you as just the power is blasting against it and shaping it around it. You do that for as long as you can until the sphere itself starts to like, as I was saying, almost become oblong, starts to like bend by the energies, starts to glow by the energies. And then to protect your friends, to protect yourself and everything around you, you do as you just said moments ago. You just pull yourself out of this plane and into the astral one.
So you're saying is it egg shaped?
It is an oblong sphere, yeah. So and you just pull yourself out of this plane and into the astral plane. But at the same time, just to make things safe again, you button off that little gaping hole that existed between the two planes.
The little butthole.
Well, pinch it low.
I was afraid that Wade would make that when I was talking about ripping and tearing. I thought he would make that reference.
I am a family-friendly creator. What is wrong with you?
And so you you just close the gap.
All right, don't put eggs in your buttholes, kids. That's the PSA.
Any kind or specifically ostrich?
Not specifically ostrich. Specifically,
Thank you.
yes.
I was enjoying the moment. Now I am no longer. So you just, and the two of you are stuck standing there in these newly formed bodies in a chamber that is now exactly as it was beforehand, except no more power ringing about, and no more Einer there in a cage up above.
The crown's still in the cage.
Oh, and Mike, you want to know what your con is?
Hmm.
You have no con.
Wait, what?
You have no con.
Oh,
Neither of you do.
so we're just dead?
No, you have your con is slash
Oh, okay.
is dash.
We're gods? Yes.
We can't die. Is that what you're telling me?
Or we can't live. I'm not sure.
I'm just saying that no one can damage your con because you have no con to damage.
All right, all right.
I feel like there's pros and cons to this.
Oh God. Okay. And mute again. There we go. So, the two of you are standing there in the room that is exactly as it was prior. Fucking Dave. The two of you and the 10 people above you on the platform. Every one of you utterly confused about what the fuck just happened.
Is this like the origin story of Miracle? Is that how he got in the crown?
Miracle doesn't exist in this world. Never existed in this world.
I know, but we have access to the astral plane. We can just move to the right world.
Ah, there you go.
Do we? If I look down at my arms, do they look like my arms, or do they
I thought I
look like
muted you.
constructs? I have muted myself because I have the power now. Because of Dave.
That's right.
We're stronger than the DM with our slash cons.
When you first saw the form that he created, it did look like an astral construct. As he forced you to possess it, it very quickly started to finish its melding and shading and whatnot to
Do I
perfectly
still have my
represent.
tattoo?
Is it a real tattoo?
It's the one from killing the Templar.
Oh no.
Fuck!
Yeah, that's gone.
Okay, we got something we got to do. Sorry, champion. Jack and I have an appointment.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That tattoo is technically like a curse, and that curse no longer exists on this form. That form is
God,
restricted.
it was never treated as a curse at any point in this campaign.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Like, oh, you took my herpes away? Come on!
It was a badge of honor.
I love herpes. What the hell? Okay.
So the champions are they crying?
Confused. They're standing about confused. Have no clue of what the fuck just happened. And the two of you are standing there in perfect, 100% perfect fits of health compared to what you were beforehand.
I'm missing my badge of honor.
Well, that's a good thing because that clues Jack in that it's not the same bodies that we had. So who knows what that means?
Jack is a smart guy.
He tries.
Do we feel any different other than just healthy?
Yeah, I guess that would be the first question. Like,
Absolutely. Yes, you very much do feel different. You feel invigorated. You feel powerful.
Do these guys scare me at all anymore, or do I look at them and I'm like, oh, golf club time?
Honestly, you look up at them and you just see people.
Grumpy old man. Okay.
You just see people. When you look at Jack, you get like some sensation within yourself. You can sense
I've always
something about
respected him not like that.
you can sense something's different about Jack. Just like looking at him, just being aware of his presence. No, it's not that. It's some aura to him that you can just innately detect. And you just looking at him, like seeing it in its full, like fully presented before you, you can feel that there's something more to Jack than just the form that's in front of you. But you don't get that vibe off of them.
I imagine I get the same feeling from looking at Mortifer.
Yes, absolutely you do. Now, there is something unique about, out of the 10 of them over your head, one of them does have, you can almost detect that he also has a considerable amount of power to him, or at least usually has a considerable amount of power to him, whereas the others are just people. But you could almost feel that he's drained.
Is that the old man?
Jack's not feeling. Yeah, I assume that's the one that you beat the hell out of from the last session.
Yeah. Oh, no. Wait, Herrick? Yes, Herrick.
The thing is, like, even invigorated, Jack's not one to go and fucking face people hand to hand. That's just not how he operates. So as invigorated as he feels, as even though they may just seem like people, that doesn't mean anything to him. It'd just be, I think Jack would still play it cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Mortifer would be the
power
only
points back.
What was that?
Do we have all of our power points back?
Absolutely, yeah.
Go for it, Mortifer.
You're fully rejuvenated, as though you had slept for months.
I'd probably look at Mortifer, look over to the group of them, realize that Einar is now gone, look to Mortifer and give him a look like, well, if there's a time, now is it.
Time for
Fight all of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you wanna take out the guy that you were talking about taking out prior, now is like the only opportunity I think you're gonna have.
Yeah, and he's still weak, I imagine.
Well, he's lower on power at least.
Their morale has got to be shaken right now because
so Dave was in control of the meta concert, right?
He was.
So once the leader of the meta concert goes away, I can't remember. Does it shift to somebody else? Or does
No. The meta concert would end.
Okay, it's just
And everybody would get their appropriate powers back.
Yeah, they get all up to a cap.
They get their powers back equally distributed.
Yeah,
they can't have more power points, I don't think, than they started with.
Correct. It's equally distributed. But there's a bit more math to it, but that doesn't really matter.
But anyway, Jack would just look to Mortifer and just give him like a, now's the time you want to do it. Now's the time you do it.
But this kind of turned into a 10v1. And
but you feel invigorated, Mortifer.
Fuck.
Just tackle him out a window. He's like by a window.
Mortifer,
I'm right
Mortifer,
behind him.
honestly, you do not feel fear.
If I don't feel fear and Einar is gone and I feel like these guys are to blame, yeah, I'm gonna go hit Grandpa in the back of the head with a goddamn sword.
With a frying pan.
Is he close enough to the next guy where I could cleave him?
Just hit them all in like one big whirlwind strike.
If you stood between two people, oh no, because they have to be directly next to each other, right? Not within just your range. No, technically,
I don't know how that is set up.
Yeah, there's no one who are within 5 feet of each other.
If you had your axe, that allows you to attack twice. Sack lion's charge.
I've got the axe. In fact, I don't know if I ever grabbed my maul. It might still be inside.
Yeah, I think you do only have your axe still. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shitty bang bang. I guess I will charge Grandpa and axe him. Hold on, let me look at my spells again.
Wait, so you're gonna go ask him a question?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I want to get my vigor up first, so I'm gonna definitely get my vigor back up.
Jack prepares. If the attack fails, he runs.
Thanks, Jack.
You can attack and activate vigor at the same time because of that one trait, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah, then I'll do that.
Is this where we trade our classes and just become cerebromancers?
David,
not in a million years would ever have Scott drop super romancers on YouTube and be like, here's your list of powers.
Them two? Oh, fuck me. Oh,
Us
God.
too.
All right, Wade, we got a meta concert.
Wade would at least try, you know?
I would try.
No, you won't.
I would try.
No, you won't.
Mortifer
You will show up to the first session and go, was I supposed to do something? What do I Google? And then by the end of the first session, you'd be 50% done with what you have to do. Be like, no, I'll take care of it before next week. The next session, you'd just be like, I think I got it done.
Yeah, instead of the scientific journal, you'd have like you'd see Mortifer on there, just Mortifer, an intellectual.
That's true.
You would this little like with his monocle that he got earlier.
All right, swing.
Okay, hold on. I'm vigoring up. How many vigor points? You told me I wasn't vigoring properly, so I need to remember all this shit. I can use it 6. Is it 30 or 40 I can get?
You can use up to your level.
Plus two for him, I think. It's either 2 or 3 for him at this point.
I get a bonus to using vigor, so I can use it like...
Correct. Just like you can do that with one of your powers, Dave. He does
so
a little bit more.
I think I was going up to 35.
So,
you're telling me I can get 40?
So it's probably it's up to 40 now.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
and that costs me how many? 8 power points? All right. Jesus, I forgot that I could do all this shit now. So, we are definitely going to Inevitable Strike, which is a PowerPoint. So that gives me 12. I'm going to go ask this guy a question in his Reoracles. As a swift action, I can cast Shield on myself. I don't remember how many rounds it lasts, but I'm going to do that for the AC bonus. And I'm going to go axe Big Papa and the Riricles.
This is gonna be the boss man.
Technically, we're not engaged yet, so I could enlarge first, right?
I mean, that's gonna. Were you gonna like run up and attack him all in one round, or are you gonna like, hold on, nothing happening here?
They're all crying. They're like, my power, my ultimate cosmic power, boo hoo. And I'm like,
his face.
They're confused right now. Maybe next round they will not.
yeah. Well, there's no rounds yet. We've not initiated, so I'm thinking I enlarge and charge.
Hell yeah.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna enlarge and charge.
Do we?
Oh, well, could he do that with the lions? No.
Nope. So you're enlarging and you're vigoring and starting to walk up there. Gotcha.
Well, not walking yet. I'm just gonna stand in place and enlarge.
Okay. Gotcha.
So you
Jack, what do you
enlarge,
do?
but you're actually not figured.
Jack, what do you do?
I already told you. If this Jack watches and if shit goes south, he leaves.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
But I'm expecting magic, so let's see what happens.
So
Because I'm
the
enlarging doesn't necessarily mean I'm attacking. They don't.
Here's the thing, like Jack can't really fight. I can get in there with my dagger and give him a little shika, but that's about it.
they are all seem confused, dazed, whatever it is. Dave, your camera keeps doing that thing. They all seem confused, dazed, whatever it is, as they're standing around and trying to put two and two together what just happened. You guys were able to keep presence of mind during periods of time that the time seemed to be slowing down. They did not. So you have more of an understanding of what was happening. It happened to you, etc., etc. Whereas they were just like, what the fuck? But Herrick himself kind of put two and two together fairly quickly. And so you can see that while they're all looking about and trying to take things in, he actually looks at the cage, then looks down at the two of you and sees Mortimer starting to repair. And so Jack being the keen one here, because Mortimer's distracted and kind of like focusing and whatnot, Jack being the keen one and observing everything, notices him looking down and make eye contact with, like look at Mortimer, then make eye contact with you. And you can see like his jaw kind of squares off as he like grits his teeth for a moment.
Now's the time for any inherent psychic abilities that I can use to come forth as I reach forward with my mind and send him out the window.
You have no inherent psychic abilities.
All right, I nudge Mortimer. Get going, buddy. Time to go. Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right, go, get in there.
You see that as his shoulders square, his jaw locks, his eyes narrow. He takes like a deep breath, like angrily, but then he releases it somewhat peacefully and closes his eyes for a few moments.
Good. That's all I need. I'm charging it.
Mortimer,
I imagine like you were like, you're right. All right, I'm gonna try something. Foos.
Yeah, Jack's like,
Fuck. I tried. Where's the black orb?
Come on, buddy, go get them.
Where's the black orb in the center?
Doesn't exist anymore, man.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
The black orb became a bigger black orb, became a white
yeah.
glowy thing, and that disappeared with Dave.
And then in the cage, there's the crown Dave was wearing.
No, the crown's gone too.
Damn it! Get going, Mortimer. Go.
I'm trying to charge. Scott keeps talking about dude blinking his eyes.
Mike asked me a question.
I am trying to figure out if there's.
While
any
Mike's asking a question.
Oh wait, charge out of the room. Let's go.
While Mike's talking and you're thinking, Mortimer's stabbing this guy in the ass repeatedly
All right, let's go.
with a sword, not with an axe. It's an axe.
Waiting for you, buddy.
All right. So inevitable strike +5. Reckless offense gives me a +2. So I'm going to do those things. I am enlarged. I will expend the 2 psionic points for extra damage.
Are you also going to inevitable strike?
Yep. So I'm at a +7 to my attack. And what do I lose when I expend psionic focus for the greater weapon?
Your metal ability, your 2 damage reduction.
Whatever. I'm too metal for metal, so I'm going to expend psionic focus. Extra 4d6 damage. So...
I'm going to pause. Actually, metal against these guys is very useful. Metal is the kind of thing that guy will try to do a save on you, and if you fail, you're out of the fight.
Oh, that's right. That's what metal does. It's the mental thing, right?
Yes. It's, in other words, you either take the lesser effect or no effect, rather than...
Okay. Metal, for some reason I was thinking metal was...
No, he doesn't have improved metal yet. He just has metal.
Yeah.
So it's either full or none at this point.
Next
level he would get
Oh, I mean,
half are done.
oh, excuse me. I'm thinking about fifth edition.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, you can do what you want. It's less important then.
Yeah. The next level is when it's like the good one.
Excuse me.
Okay.
You should be excused.
I'm just gonna do all of my damage. If once big baddie aura guy is dead, I imagine the others. If you cut the head off the snake, the body will crumble. You know.
Or it's a Hydra.
Oh well.
Well, in which case, Mortifer's glad he has an axe, not them all.
Yeah.
I'll tie the heads together and choke them to death. All right. So +7 to attack.
0
I'm
to
rolling it.
hero, just like that.
Stop. Don't distract me. All right. So +7 to attack, and I'm rolling an extra 66 damage if I hit.
Okay.
91.
I'll cry.
27.
Is that everything added or taken away or what have you?
No, I still have to roll the extra 46 damage.
Yep.
And then the second attack is a 20.
Mm-hmm. Roll your damage. Roll your 66 damage.
So does that only apply for the first hit?
Correct.
So 22, 25, and 19.
Okay. If you didn't recall, he was pretty injured at the end of last combat.
So it's 66 damage, I think I just did.
66 total. You just gave him a little spicky spank for.
So as you come at him with the axe, and you come charging up the stairs, and you like raise the axe, and you're charging towards him, and you come swinging with the axe. He reaches up with one hand and like catches the axe like where it is that you're like about to swing with it. And it's one of those things where he kind of reaches it right before you're about to swing, and like grabs the thing with one hand up high and the other hand down low, and is kind of like fighting opposite of what you need to do. And he locks eyes with you, and he says, "It doesn't matter. I've called him to here." And then, like, even if he didn't let go of the strength, who gives a fuck? You easily are way more powerful than he is. You would have easily just kind of like, and you do complete the blow. You smash him with the axe, across the neck, down and into the chest. It is a very, very lethal blow. He doesn't die instantly, but if you want, you can... he will be dead within moments.
He didn't have his cell phone on him. Dave was on the phone and Dave hung up on him. Dude, just a schoolgirl that got hung up on. He dead.
And so you pull your axe back out. Do you, with your other attack, just attack him again, just to make sure he dies. Okay, well, he's prone, so it gives you another +4 to your chance to hit. So,
oh no, if I know he's dead, I'm not gonna waste time. I'm gonna look up and
he's dying, and he's not dead.
Oh, kill it. Yeah, finish him off.
Yeah.
all right, if I've had to finish him, then I'll finish him.
Okay.
Just saying, someone throws a healing spell at him, he's up.
Yeah. So you just.
You coup de grace. He's dead.
Any critical.
Oh yeah. No, how about that's for your next attack?
Decap. Yeah, that's my next attack.
Well, your swift charge actually already covered your prior attack. So it's a swift charge 20. Yep. No, that was him. That was hit him twice. So that was it. That was your turn. So that happened there.
I just rolled ahead of time for my next turn. That's all.
So they when looking at the rest of them, they all just feel like people. Does that mean like they all had a sliver of this master's dude's power? Would that be a deduction Jack would be able to make?
No, you think that they always were just people? Even the one that Mortifer just went up there and finished off, who was already fucked up from the fight prior, from last session and everything. Even he felt like just a person, but you knew that there was power to him. You knew that he was a person worth noting. You know what I mean? You can just get that like sense off of him. But these others, they just seem like people to you.
Can I just go to the astral plane?
How?
I don't know.
Call him like dude called his friend home.
My body's made
You
of
call
astral
1-800. Einer betrayed me, and I need my big bad boyfriend to come help me. The opposite.
The link to the astral plane has been closed.
It's puckered up.
And the person who was a master of astral materials
It's puckered up inside that butthole. I got you.
Yep.
1-800 Astral Uber Einer. It's you can call anytime, day or night.
Well, if the guy's on his way, we should just run. I'm trying to think of options here, and the options are to slaughter the other 9 of them, or leave.
So the other 9 turn their attention to the fact that Mortifer just did that. Again, they were a bit dazed for what just happened, but they are aware that Mortifer is there. And so immediately they turn their attentions on you and start to to attack. Now,
Good. I'm teabagging
unfortunately,
Grandpa right now.
a fuck ton of the power points that were pooled between all of them had been used up by everything that Dave was doing, just like pulling from the hundreds of power points to do all the ridiculous, obnoxious shit that we just saw him do the hour prior. And they don't really have much. So all their highest tier spells, they no longer have access to. But that doesn't mean they don't have abilities in general. One of the abilities that one of them tries to use on you, Mortifer, is Ego Whip. The way Ego Whip works is
My ego's pretty big.
you have to make a saving throw against Ego Whip. This is what is it? Wisdom save.
Yeah. If it's a psionic power, 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be a wisdom save.
Yep.
All right, so wisdom.
We'll save.
We'll save. Sorry. Thank you, Dave. Not a very high DC. Unfortunately, you fail.
Good. My
So-
ego is enlarged.
So it's charisma damage that you'd be taking. If it wasn't for the fact that no matter how many of them ego whipped you, it doesn't take effect.
Sweet.
Because ability damage is something that can't affect you anymore.
Oh, because we're made of astral stuff.
Maybe. Then they also start to attack you using the various abilities that they have. But even then, you notice that dodging to the side of one of them is a little bit easier than you would expected. It's one of those like, oh no, Mortifer, move.
It's like when Neo found out he could dodge in the Matrix. I'm just like,
He said exactly that.
Oh, that's naughty.
and then like Mortifer touches his crotch and like touches their nose and like, oh, can't do anything about it, can you? Oh.
So you easily sidestep the attacks that come in, and anything else that comes your way, it might do damage, but nothing that's particularly noteworthy. And you more or less just realize, once again, reasserting the idea that the people in front of you are just that. People. I mean, don't get me wrong, if somebody ran at you with a butter knife, it could fucking hurt, but is it really that scary?
I don't know. Depends. They hit my jugular with the butter knife.
Okay, maybe for Jack.
I was gonna say,
Maybe for Jack, yeah. How about a spoon? Does that make you feel better?
With Jack's luck, it's like they trip and fall, but they hit his Achilles tendon. He's like, oh god.
Just collapse.
It's like a child's plastic spoon. Like, no, it's a spork! A spork!
Jack would take the butter knife and experiment on himself to see if he could cut his
I guess the question then I have to clarify, and maybe clarify for Mortifer more than for me, but when you keep saying that they're just people, does that mean he feels like he's more than a person?
You're almost getting that sense. That at the very least, they're lesser than you are. I mean, Mortifer probably already experienced that.
Yeah, you know.
on a daily basis.
How do you
like, do we feel like? I guess do I innately feel like they're an animal comparatively?
just lesser. I mean, you don't like, deer aren't sapient.
True.
There's arguments as to whether or not Occupy might be, but likely not.
I guess I would just watch Mortifer continue to do what he's doing to all 9 of them.
Do I recognize which one had like the teleport ability and like which ones had various things?
I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, the ones that you knew. Yep, you know.
The first 2 I would target are teleport guy and the one who called Jack Petrie.
Okay. And then would you finish them all off? Is that your plan?
Yes.
So you take your axe and you notice that teleport guy is immediately starting to conjure up his magics. Well, they called the master. If somebody's going to get him here, it's probably that one. So you hurl your axe across the gap of space between where you are and where he is. It goes flying flying literally through the cage, through the actual like slits inside the cage with such precision that you didn't realize that you had that kind of precision beforehand, and it hits him square in the chest, locking him against the wall behind him.
The time I flung the party on a door to the castle, I'm pretty precise.
Yeah.
And the 3 attempts I made at throwing things, 2 have been awesome.
I'm pretty sure Jack actually just hit the wall so hard he just fell on the ground and almost got killed by shadows.
Yep. It's
We don't talk about it.
Yep.
No one saw that happen because I was invisible, so it doesn't.
I know it wasn't my great throw. Mortifer knows that much.
As you're making your way around, looping your way around over to where that axe is, because you had hurled it to make sure you stopped that person. There's one between you. The first one you go running across, you just ignore that person because they happen to be one of the more dazed ones. Literally, because you just used the power on you and realized that it did nothing. You were able to just completely fucking ignore it. So he, you just like run past that one, and the next one that you see is Saray, the one that called Jack. You grab her by her face and literally just crush it in your hands.
I was gonna say, I want this one to be more personal. I want a fist to the face or a crush. I want something cool, yeah.
Grab her by her face and literally just crush it in your massive hands, and just haphazardly throw her off of the railing in front of you, so that she literally collapses. It's not necessarily that you planned it instinctively, but maybe subconsciously you did. So her body literally breaks and crumbles on the stairwell in front of where Jack is. So she's just lying broken in front of him, already dead. One of her eyes popped out. The other one's still kind of like looking up in the direction of where Jack is.
I just kind of close it.
You make another 2 to 3 steps over, grab your axe from out of the wall, and just immediately turn around with the huge reach of your arm and the haft of this axe, smash it into the person you had just run by beforehand as they're still like blinking and turning their attentions towards you, and then just make your way around the rest of them. Whether or not you had something personally against them or the fact that they're just there, you cut your way through all of them easily. It's not even particularly satisfying because it was incredibly easy.
They still count. Put them on the list.
I don't argue.
9 champions of bullshittery.
I don't even know who updates that. Does anybody update that?
Jack, if anybody asks, they fell.
I think Ollie used to update that for you.
Who's gonna stop you? You're just like, I'm watching some. You were already a good fighter. Like, you were already an incredibly good fighter, and now I've within an instant. Now suddenly you're moving like you are. Like a superhero, more or less. Kratos.
Einer comes back. They fell. That's our story.
Sure. It works for me.
Big axe marks and your fingerprints in her scalp.
Look at these,
I tried to catch
little
her.
guys falling asleep in bloods.
That's our story. We're sticking to it. My bluff has got to be through the roof right now.
Well, if after they're all lying on the ground, just clearly all dead, Jack would merely say, well, if he's coming, we should get the hell out of here.
Jack says that, looking up.
Yeah.
And as he says that, like, looking up to him and then kind of like, we should get the hell out of here, and like gestures, like gesturing down. He looks down and sees a form standing on the ground below.
That's unfortunate.
You were standing on the stairs. You're standing on the stairwell that was climbing along the side.
Is there a window at this tower?
No.
Well, is it made of stone?
Yep.
I can find a window.
Hey, hop on your buddy Mortifer. We'll catch
Who's standing at the bottom of the stairwell?
Something like you've never seen before.
That's all I need to hear. Goodbye.
You look down there, and the form that you see is standing at maybe 9.5 feet tall.
I kind of taking a step back. I just kind of shout, "Are you the master?"
They are wearing long draping robes.
I'm reaching in for something to turn into like sandstone solution and just popping one out. I'm like, it's a master
Of black.
I'm like running over to the wall behind while you're describing. Like, I'm running over to the wall behind Mortifer and it's like,
Mike,
punch a hole.
Mike, I love that this is your fantasy. This is
Run
It's
away.
like Scott's describing and pauses to let me talk, so that must mean it's happening, right?
No, yeah, it's time to go.
Nope. So long draping robes of black, and then you realize that the person that's down there, it's not like they like standing there normal flesh. You realize that their flesh is comprised of scales. As they have their own long hair, the hair is not like you've seen on any person before. It's almost like a draping fin from the back of their head.
Are we thinking like close to like, just for my own imagination, like a Dragonborn from like 5e or something?
Dragonborn tend to be very broad but a lot more slender.
Okay.
They look up to you. Their face is somewhat elongated. You can see teeth overhanging where their jaw is. Their eyes are serpentine but quite intelligent. Their ears, are non-existent. So just the holes in the side of it. There's spiny forms all around them. Their scales themselves blend almost perfectly with the color of the robes, making it difficult for you to see where the robes end and the actual like scale, like flesh begins. But you can clearly see scales versus cotton on the more separated areas. They look up at you, and you can just get this feeling that this is no man.
Damn it! I was hoping like you get the feeling it's just a person. You're like, oh.
Or at least wasn't, or at least isn't anymore. Maybe at one point in time, but isn't anymore. This clearly looks to be one of the sorcerer kings, as you've as you've come to understand them.
Oh, he's just one of our peers now, Jack. Nothing to worry about.
I don't know magic. Well, actually, that's a lie. I have knowledge arcana, but I don't know magic. the last half-hearted hope is like, Einer. So you didn't transform, right?
You look down, you see that thing, and you're just like, and you said, "What did you say to Mortifer?"
Like, are you the master? No. I said, "Oh, Mortifer."
Yeah, you said you said to him, "Are you the master?" And he looks up at you, and you're like, "He's the master." And then you're doing what you're asking for Mortifer to like run to you to like blast open the weakened wall.
Yeah, just punch open the wall.
Or I could jump on this guy and just get a nice clean headshot on the way down.
I'm pushing through this fucking wall then by myself.
I mean, so the wall's in front of you. It's weakened, but it's not perfectly soft, right?
Yeah,
it still requires strength.
The sand. Like
well,
sand.
A normal mortal would have trouble
wet
with this weaking wall, but
yeah, that's true.
Jack sneezes on it.
He says, "Are you the master?" You look down, kind of like taken aback from the moment of, "Wow, that was easier than I thought." "Are you the master?" And you look down like, "Am I the master?" And then you see the person looking up at Jack, and he's like, "He's the master!" And it's like, shh. What do you start doing?
We looked at the other people, and we felt like they were just people. We look at this guy, and we can tell he's more than a person. Does he feel like he's like
absolutely.
us, or like more?
It's hard to describe. You just know that this person before you is very, very powerful. You can actually feel an aura coming off of him that would certainly frighten, just the very look of him would frighten a lesser person. But
Cast disintegration.
You're beyond
might
fear.
have scared old Mortifer, but new Mortifer, it's like,
Cloud kill.
Yeah.
what's up, my peer? Homeboy, skillet man, right? Hip words.
Sorcerer King. Good God, no.
All right, if Jack is determined to get through the wall, I'll go punch a hole through the wall.
So you see this, and you're just like, Jack's like trying to, like, whatever. So use it.
I generally defer to Jack for intelligent things. So if he's thinking we need to go through the wall, Mortifer will generally defer to him.
So you look down that hallway, see him right at the bottom there, and you get this like idea. I could just jump on him. I could just do it. But then you look at Jack, and you're like, oh, fuck, Jack. Like, you ruined all my fun. And so you start looping down the stairs instead. As you're looping down the stairs with your hammer in one hand, just a big wide arc and slam against the wall.
No,
every part of it that was soft, and even some of like a little bits of chipping around it, just goes blasting outwards. What were you saying?
I think my hammer's still in the castle. I had to
So
use it.
axe, flat side of the axe. My apologies. Just like a big, poof. It just all just comes spewing out of the.
How far is the drop down?
Doesn't matter.
So you probably look, and Mortifer can tell almost instantly that you're like concerned about how far the drop might be, and Mortifer just grabs you and jumps.
I think you described it as 70 or 90 feet.
Yep, and you went down a little bit, so you're not that concerned. Do you want to spend 2 power points just to be sure?
I don't need to. I think I can just cast Catfall as a swift thing, right?
You can expend the Sonic Focus to do it for free, or you can spend a power point to because you already expended your focus.
Well, no, he can do it for free because it's one of his path powers.
By spending a Sonic Focus.
No, he can do it as part because what is it called? Wade, there's a power you just got this level.
Martial power.
Martial power.
At 6th level, second word makes an attack, but not a ranged touch attack in a minute. Oh, it has to be an attack I have to do? Technically, attacking the wall counts, right?
Wait, what's path power do? I'm not familiar with this one.
So as part of an attack, he can cast a path power, which his path powers are vigor and catfall.
Yeah, hold on. Martial power, 6th level, ranged touch. You manifest one of his powers as part of the action. Takes effect immediately. Touch powers transmitted. It doesn't say that you don't have to spend a power point though.
Yeah, but no, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying he doesn't have to spend his Sonic Focus.
No. We were talking about whether or not he spent power points.
You're the
Oh,
one who told
excuse
me I didn't need to use power points the last time.
Correct, because powers, your static, your path powers, what the fuck they're called. Where is it? I'm sorry. Rules lawyering, so much fun. Where the fuck are you?
Sorry.
I mean, I'll spend the power. I just didn't think I had to if I was doing it in this way.
You can expend your psionic focus to activate it instead of spending a power point. Yes.
In the time between attacking and attacking the wall, did I have time to get my psionic focus back?
It's a full round action to do that. You were like quite busy.
Looking down at the guy was quite busy for a full round.
6 full seconds is a full round action. So it's literally your whole turn.
I looked down at him for quite a long time.
No.
before I hit the wall.
No, you jumped into action. So no.
Fine, I'll take my 1 power point. God damn you.
So because you loop down a little bit, the fall from here is only going to be 60 feet. So it's only effectively a 10-foot drop for you because you're only reducing it by 50, which is fine. So it's just 1d6 that you have to take. But could you do me a favor and actually make me an acrobatics or athletics check, whichever one it exists? I can never remember.
I think they're both things.
No, just acrobatics.
No, it's a 5e they are.
Athletics was also Star Wars last night.
Oh, okay. So acrobatics?
Oh, 15. You actually take nothing because that
Good thing I
reduces
rolled
the
a
fall by
19,
10.
huh?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Oh god.
You reduce the fall by 10 feet. So you actually expend the 1 power point. You use your acrobatics, and you literally jump the 60 feet. Boom, superhero landing. No negative effect. And so you guys are now outside the wall as you hit the grounds there. What do you do as soon as you hit the ground
I'm
outside?
gonna get my hammer.
You
So
going
you-
back inside to get the hammer?
No,
Not
back
inside
to
there,
the
it's in
castle.
I just want to run.
So you're going to run with him or run elsewhere? He's on the screen. Mike.
No,
Oh,
something.
I'm behind him. He doesn't know.
I think that's a coyote.
That's just me.
There's multiple. How?
Yeah, coyotes are generally in packs. Yeah.
Yeah. I just oh, there's like fucking like.
Actually, I think I heard it for a second.
Yeah, there's.
Oh,
so
turn up your gain for a second.
Yeah, hang on. You can't hear that, can you?
I can't hear it.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure.
What you can hear coyotes outside?
Oh, they're going insane. Can't tell if they're getting close.
I mean, you're inside, so you're safe.
If someone knocks on the door and you look out and you see what looks like an old lady, don't trust it. Could be a wolf.
If you see what looks like a really tall man in a trench coat, it could be a bunch of coyotes.
All right, here. I'm bumping up the last little bit that I can on my microphone. They all shut up. They
I
literally
knew
all
you were
stopped.
doing it.
That was crazy. I've never heard that many all just yipping and howling like crazy, and like that was crazy.
Well, you know, there's woods immediately behind my house, and
Same thing. I've got woods right there.
yeah, so like I hear them from time to time, and they go crazy
I've never
loud.
heard. That was crazy though.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. Sorry, distraction. That just caught me off guard because it sounded like screaming children.
I've told you this before. One time driving home from work in the evening, I was driving home. And I literally just with a dead rabbit in its mouth, I saw a coyote running along, and these things, like, because of the ones that are coming down from breeding with wolves in the mountains, they're
big.
so much bigger now.
Yeah.
And you actually live further north than me, so you probably have seen more of them. But
I've
like,
seen one since I've been here.
but I mean, like the one that I saw was like what are they called? What kind of racing? What's the racing dog? Greyhound in height.
yeah.
Like, we're talking
wow.
greyhound in height, but also like disgustingly skinny with shaggy fur, like nasty fur, because like coyotes are always half starved. So, but yeah, it was like crazy big. I was like, whoa! Good thing I'm in my car. Keep driving.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Anyways,
So we are outside the castle now,
We're outside the Hall of Conquest.
and you want to go back into the castle and get your hammer. I'm going wherever Mortifer goes. Where is it? Jack's
We're
not
going into the castle.
Then I'm following Mortifer to get the hammer.
so it's funny because you more or less you guys land outside. I imagine Jack kind of like hits Mortifer in the knee. And is like, thanks, let's go, and starts like running this way, and Mortifer's like running that way. And he's like, God. Starts running. What?
I'm not leaving without my hammer.
All right, that's fair. Let's go. We go in for it.
Okay.
I
So-
just had Einer repair it for me before he got sucked into an egg.
So you guys are rushing forward and trying to get there as quickly as you can, trying to get to the castle. So the good news is, as you guys are running along, Jack is kind of a person that runs out of breath a little quickly. You know, he's not the most, he's not in the best shape.
I have a 12 con.
It's kind of person that after like 30 seconds of running already starts to feel it.
I don't know. He
You know?
runs away so often. I feel like he'd be good at it by now.
That's true. And my stealth check helps.
But
Yeah,
you
mine
guys,
too.
that doesn't seem to affect you at all.
Gotcha.
Doesn't bother you.
We're not in mortal bodies. We're in astral construct stuffs.
That might be what it is.
I'm gonna keep this body.
That might be what it is. So you guys are doing that. That's the good news, is that you can maintain that high speed, no problems. The bad news is that at one point in time, Jack looks over his shoulder and sees the door has opened up and the form is now standing in the doorway, looking out across the field and seeing you guys walking. And so he's like, oh, fuck. Keeps running. You look back again a couple moments later. He is crouched down for a moment, spread his fucking wings. Are you kidding me?
Here we go.
I thought you were about to say legs.
Are you kidding me? An egg shoot out.
Sorry.
Ping pong balls.
Yoshi style.
So anyways, you and he like leaps up and with a big like of the wings, quickly shoots up faster than you would expect him to be able to do with a single thrust of the wings, and rises higher up in the sky, and is now overhead and closing the gap between where he was and where you are.
All right, I'm gonna stall. Go get your hammer, Mortifer.
What's the plan?
Dasha, come fight.
I don't know. Talk at him.
Shasha could just fall on his knee and be like, my lord.
I don't know.
Mike, if you have your keys with you, just put each key between his knuckle.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Just fucking punch him.
Or take a coin and do magic tricks and distract him. Like, oh, it's behind your ear.
We'll see what happens. Here we go. I'm just gonna
Alright,
try
get
and
my hammer.
stop him from stopping Mortifer to getting his big bludgeoning hammer.
Get him to serve us. Get him to worship us.
I'm on it.
What's your plan? What's your plan, Michael?
I am now the sorcerer king of Rame. Let's talk.
Okay. So he flies up
I just
for.
need to buy time. That's all I need to do.
He flies up into the air and is closing the gap, and you're just like, I'll hold him off, and you like slow down and stop and like hang your arms like, fuck.
I gotta hold myself proud.
Turn around.
Yeah.
I'm a big boy too. Yeah.
This is
And Mortifer, you continue to loop your way towards the castle. You're definitely going to get your hammer.
Yeah.
We'll take a break.
okay. All right, we'll be back in a little bit.
Get it, so.
See y'all soon.
Don't go anywhere.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the final bit of this thing.
Chapter, season, session, you name it.
Whatever you want to call it.
All right. I am about to talk to a man.
Just a person.
About a car.
Yeah.
About a horse, excuse me.
Yeah. Okay, Scott, what happens? He lands.
Flies in your
Yeah.
direction. What do you do?
Like I said, I kind of stop short and kind of pat Mortifer and just be like, go get your hammer, I'll hold him. And I prepare to be diplomatic.
So you just stand there and
The plan is to buy time, yes.
waits till he lands?
Yep.
Okay. Continues to fly over your head.
All right. Well, I follow Mortifer.
You turn and you start chasing after Mortifer like,
yeah.
well done.
You throw some rude words at him, he dodges them.
You see,
Mortifer, eventually Jack catches up. I'm like, he flew by.
you actually
I
see
could never have predicted this.
you actually see Mortifer. It flies over Mortifer's head too, and
I'm
lands.
just migrating south for the winter. No need to worry.
Lands on the roof over by the actually kind of like the first place that you guys originally walked into, the penthouse area. Sucks for whoever might be up there. And you guys finish making your way back to the actual castle. Now, as a reminder, the castle itself is actually was
small.
pretty far, but it seemed you guys got there a little bit quicker than you had expected to. Like for some reason, you actually seemed to. It was a bit of a quicker jog to get there than you usually remember. That doesn't matter. One thing I do want to point out is that you never actually do catch up to Mortifer. He's actually incredibly fast because of his big size, whatever it is. You actually, once you like lose him, you don't catch up. You finally catch up to him after he's already collected his hammer and has turned around and started to take steps forward. You know what I mean?
Big size and sweet thighs. Thank you. Don't mute me.
You guys are now inside the castle.
You have your hammer.
You have your hammer.
Time to go.
You imagine that creature is inside the castle as well.
That's fine. Time
What
to
do
go.
What do you do?
Leave the castle. Time to go.
You just turn and walk out?
And I've got my hammer, so now I listen to Jack.
We just need to find a way out of here. Why don't we go out the secret passage in the basement that I know exists and go out that way?
I mean, the confrontation that you had was literally outside of her bedroom, right? That was literally where you got into the fight with these people before, because you were in the bedroom, you started to run away, you got caught right out in that hallway. You just go back in, pull the.
Hell yeah, just go there. Goodbye.
It's literally one of those. We need to get out of here. Where do we?
Yeah, exactly. Let's go.
And so you guys go in and Mortifer. Oh God, you hate this.
Are we muted, by the way? Chat. Someone said it can't hear you guys.
No,
Are we good?
No, you're not muted.
Okay. Okay, it might just be
Yeah.
on his end. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's just one person. Okay. I was like, what? I was like, because I always have myself set lower than you guys. You guys are all the way up.
Okay, cool.
So just because I'm a loud person, I'm the direct.
On the
feed.
way out, I'm gonna grab the comforter off the bed.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
So you so my apologies. You guys go. You pull the lever. And you hate this, of course, Mortifer, because when he pulls the lever, that door opens up to like this is a medium-sized doorway down a medium-sized stairwell, which is like. I mean, think about real life. Like the average, doorway is what, like 7 feet tall, 7'6". What is it in real life? Do you know, like 7'2"? And then it's maybe a smidge above that, and then they're not very wide. It's an arcing
I'm assuming I
stairway
have
down a
to-
slope.
D and large. I probably have to go back to normal size to even fit, right?
Yes, and even then, it's a tight squeeze and it's not comfortable. But you make your way down that fucking stairwell. And at the bottom of the stairwell that you finally make your way down and into is the slave quarters where you were stuck for the beginning of this season. Yeah, that was awesome.
Home
Thanks, Dave.
Sweet home.
No problem.
From down there,
It was my
honestly,
decision.
the way out is something that you guys wouldn't know about, except Jack last season found a little secret door and kind of set up his own little way of finding his, the secret in and out.
I left a little notch for me to be able to hit the switch and get the hell out.
And so you guys do that. You go all the way back to the secret doorway, and you're like, if I only knew that this was here the entire time that I was trapped down here, that would have made life a lot more comfortable going into season 2.
Yeah, that's right. Jack was being experimented on, so none of us knew.
Yeah.
So you guys go down there through that. Mortifer's probably like, there are no ways out of here, Jack. I know this. And Jack's like,
Meanwhile, I'm like, flick, and then in the door just like,
This is why Mortifer defers to Jack.
another feather in my cap.
and from there, you guys are able to make your way back out into the courtyard and beyond.
To the wilderness, away from Rame.
Where do you guys go? Where's the first
Well,
place
if we don't
directly out of
exhaust-
Rame?
we don't exhaust and we don't take con damage, we can just walk into the deserts forever.
So you choose to walk into the deserts?
Well,
So-
I mean,
so,
that's
so
just
you guys are Moses. And,
yeah.
and his one
can float.
disciple.
We got Moses and Jesus.
Moses and Jesus.
That'd be great. Comedy duo, no one
It's like,
ever
it's
expected.
like a really poor understanding of history. It's like, yeah, and they hang out with dinosaurs. You know, I don't have to run that time.
I'm
A
trying
long
to
time ago.
Humans used to ride dinosaurs. Okay.
Season 3, the wacky adventures of Moses and Jesus.
The
Everybody.
only place
Absolutely.
the only place I could think of when wanting to go before leaving the city would be to Leviathan and just be like, hey, here's Delio. Okay,
Good
we're
luck.
out. Goodbye.
Good luck,
Yeah, like,
good
we're
luck
out.
with that.
We're
We
out.
cleaned up our mess, but there's a sorcerer king who's kind of pissed. See ya.
So you actually do want to encounter Goliath the Calm before you leave?
No, that's the only. Jack doesn't give a shit. But if there was like anyone in town, I think Levi's would be the only person worth visiting. But that still runs the risk of being caught in town by the fucking sorcerer king.
Is that something that you are going to seek
I don't
to
think
do?
so.
Are you
I don't
thought
think so.
are you thought babying that? Or are you going to
I
talk to
think I'm
Wade
thought
about it?
babying it and just getting out of there.
So you're not even going to say it to Mortifer?
No, to Mortifer, I'd be like, I think our only option is to leave Rame and enter the deserts.
Or we could kill the Batman. Or we could kill the Batman.
You know how many people have tried that?
Listen,
Oh yeah,
failed?
the Kaelens family. They're still in town, aren't they?
maybe I'm turning into
Oh no, I
I think maybe I'm neutral evil today.
Are you
Chaotic
gay?
evil. Chaotic evil.
the
today?
hot girl.
Maybe we should kill the Batman.
I gotta go find the hot.
I can't
girl.
believe I just said that unintentionally.
Yeah. Shit, I know where they are, so I can
It's
get
been
there as
me
quickly
the
as I
whole
possibly can. All right, that's where my goal is.
Hit me.
I wouldn't use that out loud to Mortifer. Like the Kaelens family, I have to give them the warning. I promise them that. I'm a businessman. I made a transaction. Now it's time for me to pay up my end.
Do I? Okay. I don't fully understand how I felt when I looked at this guy. You told me the other guys looked at people. This guy I can tell is not just a person.
Yeah, he's more than.
Did I fear him, or did I just feel like
You
this-
know that a lesser person than yourself would intrinsically be scared of him, but things like fear, you're beyond that.
Okay.
You have transcended such base
If Mortimer
instincts
doesn't
like
figure
fear.
this guy, then he'll be like, "Yeah, Jack, whatever you want." You know? I don't know why we're doing all this running. I just want to go get my hammer. This dude. Like,
You have your hammer now.
Yeah. I don't care where we go. Mortifer does not care. We go wherever Jack wants to go.
And so you choose to find the Kaelens family?
Yeah, the idea is just let them know the quick rundown as to what's going on, and they may want to fucking skip town.
You start trying to find the Kaelens family, searching your way there. Roll me an intelligence check. Both of you, but more Jack.
Oh, no, watch this. Nat 20.
15.
Boom. 10.
So Jack, you feel like a prickling sensation in the back of your neck.
Okay.
You're just like almost like something's there. And then
Please.
I know.
and then you look to your side and you see something that is not really there, but you can feel the magical presence of it. It takes a moment for you kind of like search in what you kind of like instinctively know what this is. You're like staring at the thing, quite obvious, like making it quite obvious to the fact that you're aware of it. When you realize it's a sensor.
That's a magic spell?
It could be scrying, it could be arcane eye, it could be all sorts of different things.
Is there a way for me to make it go away?
Do
Go
you
away,
have the
Sensor.
ability to dispel magics?
Go away,
Nah.
Sensor.
No.
Go away.
I don't know what my
It's
abilities are.
remote
other than
viewing.
Not
If
able
I
to
hit it
get
with a
hunger.
magic and
Clairvoyance.
ball, would it break?
Fuck. Okay, fine. I stopped. Jack stops dead in his tracks and looks to Mortifer and Spiela and just shakes his head. We're being watched. We're not gonna be able to get anywhere without him finding us. We can run and forever run until we die of old age, or we can just fucking deal with it.
Okay.
Unless it's Einar watching me from beyond.
Mortifer does not fear confronting this thing.
I just don't want to bring the censor to the Kaelens family. I have no interest in endangering them.
Mortifer could hit it with his hammer.
Depending on the type of sensor that is, technically that could work.
I just kind of gesture. It's like there. Swing.
I'm gonna go hit the sensor with. I'm gonna infuse my hammer with magic and hit it.
It doesn't work.
Okay. I looked to Mortifer. Do you think you stand a chance against him if he decides to take him? If he decides that we are his enemy?
Mortifer always has a good chance.
You haven't proven me wrong, or you haven't proven that wrong yet. So, well, if we stand right here, I think he'll show up. He'll come to us.
Are we in a part of town that's heavily populated, or where are we?
No.
Actually, Mortifer, do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Make me an attack roll.
Is this something I feel like it's gonna be hard to hit? Do I need to like use inevitable strike or anything?
It's up to you, man.
Don't worry about it.
Do you want to add that shit on there or no?
Nah. I'm just
It
gonna...
would have been with your hammer, but that's fine. You actually do.
Yeah, I can reroll
You
it,
actually
yeah.
do swing. with
Take off
your-
a -1 from that then.
That's fine. You actually do swing with your hammer at this sensor, and it's one of those things where, oh, you give it a try, and it does connect. Your hammer just like stops suddenly, and at the same time, you can feel a disperse of magic. The sensor breaks.
Okay. Do I need to roll the extra damage for the magic thing?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about damage. It was a matter of hitting it.
Okay.
All right. Well, if you kill it, to the Kaelens family.
Okay, my apologies. All right, so you guys start making your way to the Kaelens family. So you guys are making your way in that direction to the Kaelens family. Try to be there as quickly. Do you try to be stealthy as well?
I mean, not really.
I mean, whatever. So you make your way to the Kaelens family. You know,
What time of day is it? Right? Is it nighttime? I don't remember.
it was nighttime. Yep, it was the middle of the night. You guys were doing all this shit.
Yeah. So just knock on the door.
I mean, time
Have my-
passed, but not so
have
much
the
at the
ring-
sunrise.
Have the ring ready to present so people know it's me.
Okay. So as soon as they open up the door, and they look at the two of you, and they're like, there's a guard that you've seen beforehand. You hold up the ring, they know who you are, and you see that they look at you, but they look at you slightly differently. Do you just like push past and make your way in?
I would just to demand to speak with what's her face. I can't remember her name.
Yeah. Yes. And we were
Hell yeah.
expecting your return.
Good. And I just kind of like lead me. Come on, we're on a time.
They bring
here.
you into
Do they
same
seem like
places they were beforehand. I'm sorry, Bleed.
Do they seem lesser to us than they did the last time we were here?
This is just a person.
Yeah, I just walk. Yeah, exactly. I walk over. I walk up to the desk and I kind of just place the ring on the table just so she sees it, and then my hand firmly on the table. I'm like, the job is done.
Because it's the middle of the night, everyone was sleeping.
Well,
so you make your way to that back room.
Yeah.
It's literally just you in there. So it's literally you guys go in there. There's just the guard that was kind of standing there beforehand. A few almost a minute later, you see the uncle and the in his own like sleeping robes, and the young girl in her own sleeping robes come in from like the same doorway. They have their own like rooms or whatever that direction, and they start walking in. And she looks to you and says, "Jack and Mortifer." And then you hear from like behind you, coming in from behind you, know how to make an entrance, don't you, Jack?
It's the only thing I'm good at, apparently. Now, make it quick. They're all dead. All 10 of them.
You're
including Einar.
welcome.
Sure. Yeah, I just
You're
Jack like nods at Mortifer, like, yeah, give him the praise if you need to. However, and you said when I saw it, you said a sorcerer king. Was that out of game, or was that in game that I would know?
Out of game, that was fact. In game,
Yes.
you know that they become draconic.
Then
They're literally referred to as dragons.
Okay,
Like
I will
sorcerer
make-
king or dragon is almost synonymous.
making a leap or making that connection, whether it's right or not. Jack would then just proceed to go. However, a sorcerer king has arrived in Rain following their death. Last we saw, he was in the castle. Likely, he's almost certainly he is currently after myself and Mortifer here. However, Rame is clearly in danger. Whether new regime change or what have you, I come here to fulfill my end of the transaction. Make yourselves safe. If that means leaving Rame, then so be it. If that means making peace with whoever ends up ruling this place, so be it. But I'm not going to leave you hapless and witless as these events occur.
Or we kill him.
That's also a possibility.
Mortifer is also a sorcerer king now.
Not true.
Mortifer thinks it's true.
I know.
How many
you turn into a dragon, Mortifer?
Could.
It's like Mortifer has not tried.
Go ahead and give it a shot, buddy.
All right, Scott, I'm going to try to sprout wings and fly.
You poop.
All right, well, you tried.
They look about one another. This is a lot to take in all at once. It's really hard for them to kind of like absorb all that. Mm-hmm. And so they look about one another, and as they kind of like gathered around to the center area, I imagine at one point in time you do put the ring or whatever, like you described beforehand, on the table.
Yep.
And they say, the younger one says, then we have both succeeded and failed. We're going to have to, she turns to the uncle, we're going to have to abandon the family's lands. We'll have to retreat to Tyr. It's where our next largest outpost exists. And he's like, we cannot give up the family lands. We've discussed this many times beforehand. It is foolish for us to do so. This is where we've always had our foothold, and we recondensed all of our power here so we would never lose this foothold. So we could concentrate and take back what we had, and if not more. And
Jack kind of like looks at him like, you put all your chips in Rame?
It was their foothold, though, right? Gotcha. And when chaos happened, that was a good time to strike, right?
Yeah,
so, or we kill it.
Do you say that? Okay.
That's the second time you said
Whoever doesn't fear this guy.
So
Jack even says, like, and that's funny as it may sound, not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
We know a sorceress queen died before. Why not a king?
When you guys speak, they all clearly listen. But then, like, after you kind of like they mull it over, she slowly shakes her head and says, "I think that might be a foolish option. Powerful as you two have clearly proven yourselves time and time again, surviving what you have and accomplishing what you have. The simple fact of the matter is, we do not have any means to support you against the Sorcerer King. The ones that have died in the past have been flukes, to say the least. And where this one came from, I don't think any of us..." She lets it linger for a moment.
The astral plane, maybe?
That's lost on her.
Yeah.
Know where it came from, then. We need to retreat.
That's all I know.
We need to retreat. It can't be all at once. It can't be simultaneous. It'd be too obvious.
Mortifer and I will go last.
No. We all need to leave now. But my family and our possessions, our prize, they'll leave caravan by caravan, and they'll have to join us. I'm getting ahead of myself and being incredibly rude. Would you accompany us to Tyr?
Jack just kind of like mulls it over for a minute. Jack just wants to say yes. He wants to get the fuck out of this city. You know.
Mortifer follows Jack and kills things.
You have a mind of your own, buddy.
Mortifer kills things.
Guess that's a yes.
She didn't seem like there was anticipation beforehand. When you say yes, she's incredibly relieved. Then she looks to her uncle and says, "Then it's decided." As he goes to like open his mouth to respond, she immediately cuts him off and says, "And as the ruler of this family, I do have every say." He like lets the mouth linger for a couple moments, closes it, and then angrily turns and walks out of the room, clearly preparing or whatever. She says, "We won't be able to bring any guards with us. It'll be too obvious if too many leave at once. It'll have to be us 5.
Jack nods and like, believe it or not, Mortifer took down all 10 on his own.
She looks at Mortifer, looks back to you and says, "In the past, maybe I wouldn't have, but I believe it now."
Still need 100 and blurty 7.
We'll get those 100 blurty 7s, Mortifer. I promise.
The other sister, yes,
Hell yeah.
steps forward. Do you want names here? Would that help you out?
No, I don't. I just is the hot one.
Yes.
This is Jack. He's neutral evil.
She actually takes a step forward and she says, "Actually, we all shouldn't travel together, sister. I think perhaps it's best if you and Uncle leave immediately. If you want to have one of your best guards take my place to travel with you and keep you safe, I think perhaps that would be wise. I'll stay behind and coordinate."
Do I notice that Jack gets excited when she steps forward?
No, it's not quite like that. Jack
Not
likes,
like that.
I pretend it's obvious, but Jack's not being obvious right now. He's too worried about his own life.
I'm just curious.
Also, simple fact of the matter is, when you look at her, don't get me wrong, she's still a gorgeous woman, and she still carries herself very, very well. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, that evening gown that she's choosing to wear.
But if that evening gown was on a lizard queen,
But she's for some reason lesser
yes,
than what you remember her being before. So, anyways, she says, if you need to have one of your greatest guards take my place for the travel, then perhaps you should do that, sister. But I should stay here and coordinate at least the beginnings of everything making its way from here to tier. We can't have some fumbling idiot screwing things up and either having most of our stuff captured on its travels or have our hands played out too soon, us tracked down and smothered. It's not only the new Sorcerer King we need to protect ourselves from, it's also the other families. She nods, understanding her sister's logic, probably getting it prior to her even finishing saying what she was saying, and says, "Very well then. I'll prepare to travel then." She looks to Jack and gives like a nod of appreciation. Same thing to Mortifer, and then turns and walks out of the room, leaving just the two of you. One of the guards that's just kind of like standing there in the corner, and the oh god, I'm trying to get her name. I'm so bad with names. Here it is. Her name is Clara.
oh yeah, that's right.
Just leaving the two of you and Clara in the room.
Okay.
You say anything or?
Nope.
Clara looks to you and says, "Something seems different about you, Jack.
Yeah, things are weird right now.
Something seems..."
He's going through a few body changes.
She goes, "Something seems," and I just go, "Yeah, things are different right now."
That's his whole response. Yep.
Yeah, he can't explain it. He doesn't know.
Well,
He has an understanding of like what Einar tried to do or did, or like there was something, but like the end result is I'm in a body that's not mine but kind of looks like mine, but I don't hunger and I don't take ability damage, but I still can take damage, and he doesn't know. Things are just different right now.
So when you say, like, yep, and it's kind of like dismissive, probably distracted with what's going on in your own mind, like, God, how long are they going to take to get changed? We got to go. Like, whatever it is, she just kind of like takes the obvious cue and she says, "Well then, till we meet again." She starts walking to leave the room, intentionally walking past you.
Oh, is
stops.
that the hot
She's trying to get me.
Stops,
my attention, 'cause she wants it now.
Gives
And
a
now I
kiss
don't-
on the
Yeah.
cheek.
And now I'm like, "You're below me, human."
Gives a kiss on the cheek and then leaves the room. The two of you just stand there. Do you say anything to each other, or is it just like
I look
awkward
nonchalant,
silence?
like I don't care that much.
Okay.
The feelings just aren't there.
It's one of those. It's super awkward for the guard standing in the room with the two of you, as it's just like silence as minutes pass.
First time I couldn't
See?
see Jack get it up.
Here's the thing. This is the long con. Great for me. She's one of those girls who can get whatever she wants, and now that she wants something, she can't have it. She's gonna want it more. Yep, it's gonna happen.
Mike has
Wait a
never
minute.
experienced this in his
Am I
life.
right?
So we just stand there with the guard waiting. I'm just like, okay.
17, 18 awkward minutes pass, and then finally the two of them, one at a time, come out. They're clearly dressed for travel, and they have one of their, you can clearly tell by the quality of equipment he has on him, the way he carries himself, the scars on his body. There is a guard that stands with them, somebody that is obviously very talented. It's actually a guard that, well, probably hasn't been in their family's employ for too terribly long, because you've met him before. An elf that you guys met once when you freed him from his cage as you were busting your way out of the
Oh, they'd be like, Shashuk, he got a new job.
oh no, that's Shashik. Actually, Shashik was human and hated elves.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But he was the elf that you had busted out of the cage when the two of you were originally leaving. And it's one of those things where is you and Mortifer, you and him, Mortifer, kind of like make eye contact. There's that moment of tension when, the two of you were rivals before. He technically was ahead of you in the games, and you guys were rivals. There's that moment of tension when you guys make eye contact, and you kind of size each other up, and you just look at him, and you know that you're better than him in every way.
And I know that he knows.
And you know that he knows. you can see him come to that conclusion, and it almost breaks him a little as he realizes that looking at you.
If I see that, I just and like stand a little bit taller.
Very quickly, the five of you leave the house and take to the road and start walking. A long, long walk to Tyr. Now, we're gonna end it here, with the two of you taking to the sands.
Becoming nomads.
But one of the things I do want to point out as you do travel is you realize that you don't tire. As a matter of fact, you don't sleep. You don't hunger.
We get a template.
You don't need to eat.
Whoa. Sleep and eating were my two favorite things other than killing.
You
can
can
do it for
sleep
fun.
and you can eat. But you don't have to. Neither do you
I'd still
thirst.
eat.
You don't have to drink either. And in a desert world,
That's like an incredible gift.
you come to realize that those around you consistently look at you with looks of awe, as though they're seeing something greater themselves.
Here's the great part about, I don't know if it works in Athos, but in D&D, you just need followers to people to praise you to become a god.
Well,
Get
what
that.
Dave had messaged me privately that he wanted to do was Dave actually granted you guys divine rank 0.
Ooh, that's really wild.
Oh.
Meaning
So
technically,
So that means
Dave,
I'm
We
ranked.
are
no, Dave.
god.
So technically, you guys actually have portfolios.
No. Divine rank 1 is the first time you get a portfolio. Almost there. Yeah.
Oh, they don't have a portfolio.
Not yet.
Don't they have access to a single?
They have access to a few different things, but not an actual portfolio. They're also immortal to things like aging,
Yeah.
death of natural causes,
Yeah.
immune
We are like, it's like being Hercules, kind of. He's like a
actually
deadly-
exactly that. Literally, the child of a mortal and a god is born with this template.
Yep.
Exactly
Well, I
that.
mean, you guys, if I recall, you have spell resistance 32
Plus
spell
divine
resistance
rank.
32, which is 0.
That means we're gonna if we pick up next season, it's gonna be a different kind of game.
Which is one of the reasons why Wade, when they threw spells at you, you were just like, eh.
Mortifer always felt that way.
I mean, but now it actually works.
So you'd have to be at least level 13 to even a spell caster level 13 to even potentially hit you with a spell. And that's with rolling an @20.
Yep. Unless you have feats or whatever that give you modifiers and blah 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 blah. There's.
Oh no, 12. Actually, you have to meet it. I think you have to.
Cool.
Meet
So
Well, here's the
next-
thing: like our characters won't know that, and it'll take someone very probably old and in the know to know that this is what we are, because gods are dead in this world. There are no gods. There's no demigods walking the world that we know of. Like that, we don't know any of that. So as far as we know, we're just like, sweet. Einar gave us the ability to never have to eat or drink or sleep again.
I know we're supposed to raise the first god.
Yeah, I figured. that's
There's
where
this
we're going.
lore that I have for this, but I never supposed to raise the first god. The original plan was originally supposed to be something different, but we can get more into lore some other time.
And
But
Einar's not
Einar was
dead.
supposed
He's
to raise the
trapped.
first god.
He's trapped in the astral plane right now.
Einar is trapped in the astral plane in some spherical thing surrounded by immense
That's like
power.
trapping a kid at McDonald's play place. He's having the time of his life in there.
No, the astral plane.
Well,
is-
the funny thing about that is time doesn't pass in the astral plane, so he cannot die of old age because aging doesn't happen there.
the aging will catch up with him when he leaves.
Oh yeah, that'll happen, and he'll die.
That'll suck for Einar.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't even have a body.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
wait,
also
but he
true.
cast that divine thing on all three of us, so technically he might have that when he comes out. And not
That's
die?
true. He did try to embody it in himself.
He tried and failed.
Okay.
Yeah,
We think we don't know.
Well, he tried and failed to the extent of what happened to the two of you.
Interesting.
So,
Huh.
anyways,
That's a really cool twist there at the end. I appreciate that, Dave. That was neat.
yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm really
wait.
glad I didn't tackle. I was gonna cut the chain and have you go falling 70 feet. I'm glad. I didn't.
Yeah, we at the end of last session, Wade and I were DMing for a while about, all right, here are your options. Here's like we went through like meta concert step by step of like, what happens if we do this? What happens if we do this? Who's the guy you want to attack? What happens if we do this?
Depending on what you told me, I was either going to take down Grandpa, do nothing, or try to cut your chain and send you flying down 90 feet.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out how the hell we were gonna get out of this mess.
No, I thought making you guys gods would be interesting.
Yeah, because again, we don't know. We have no idea. Like in this world, there's no way to compare
Mortifer's
ourselves.
body finally matches his ego.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, no, I mean, to be completely honest, the reason we chose divine rank is not because that was precisely what we were going for. It's just that it was the easiest mechanically.
Gotcha.
We were also going to think about giving you mythic levels. but
Well, that was because I misunderstood what Mythic was. I thought Mythic was Pathfinder's version of Divine, but
no,
yeah,
it
I
was just
misunderstood it at first.
yeah,
because it's been a long
Mythic-
time.
yeah, mythic is just a Pathfinder way if you want to give PCs more power.
Yeah.
Without.
Do you
literally
remember
giving-
Gestalt, Mike?
yes.
Mythic is Gestalt, more or less.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
But it's just it's not as powerful as Gestalt. So it's
Yeah.
just like you give people additional powers per level.
The only way we'll ever really realize what we are like I said, somebody old telling us, or like people begin to worship us, and our power starts to grow from people beginning to
Are
worship.
sorcerer kings divine at all?
Yes.
No.
We just looked at a sorcerer king and felt more than a man there. I
Because
thought.
they're epic level.
Okay. Oh, that's scary in fucking Atlas too.
Athos, yeah.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
It would be scary in Atlas too, probably.
Also true.
Yeah.
Atlas is but epic level is fucking spooky. That's very very.
Because
Scary.
he was probably level 23, and you guys were still level 6.
Yeah.
Sure, you're immune to things like eating and aging, but somebody can still pop your head off.
Yeah, someone could just hit us really hard.
Well, because Athos, like specifically Dark Sun, is a campaign setting meant to support high past level 20 levels of play.
Mhm. No, that's certainly gonna make season 3 very very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So the question then becomes, how do we do season? Do we want to bring a third person on? Does this become a duo?
Well, Mike, isn't that a question for me and you?
Yeah, no, but I'm just musing out loud.
Hey, I'm still here.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a god now, bitches.
I gave you power, I can take it away.
Dave gave my power. You tried to take it away.
The genie gave you your power, he can take it away.
His 24s were much too strong for your DMing.
Does that mean drugs don't work on me anymore?
You're immune to pretty much everything.
So I can't even drug myself.
It's funny too because you're like David described you as not having a con score. That was him being cheeky. You do have a con score, it just can't be affected.
Gotcha.
So-
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you also can't take like level drain or anything like that. Like that stuff doesn't exist.
Actually, there says nothing about being affected. Oh well, I mean, if drugs do ability damage, yeah.
You're immune to poisons, and drugs are
We
poisons.
can go over the mechanics of it.
Yeah, that part doesn't matter because you also
Oh,
get a stat adjustment.
No,
So-
actually, you have to be divine rank 1 to be immune to disease and poison. So
Oh, you can get fucked up. You can drink.
he is immune. You guys are immune to polymorphing, petrification, anything other that alters your form or shape changing.
Can I still enlarge myself?
Ooh,
Yes.
interesting. Okay.
Well, so actually, funny thing, because you're divine rank 0, your speed increases. As a medium-sized person, it's 60 feet, and as a large-sized person, it's 80 feet.
What about huge?
That's
Or
a good
large?
question. I didn't look that one up, but I know it's bigger.
100.
So I was gonna say, I'm assuming based on 60, 80, it would be 100.
Yep.
It goes by 20s after that point.
Yep. So more or
I
less.
could have had a really hard time keeping up since I was enlarged going to the.
I mean,
I love that you have damage reduction 10 epic too.
the big thing is also you're immune to mind affecting effects, which is basically all psionics.
Yep.
Oh Jesus. Are we so? No, never mind.
So the only shit I was actually had to worry about, I no longer do. Yay!
It like literally like one of the things when I was planning out my character, I was trying to a general idea when you're making good D&D characters is that you don't want to have too much of one save, too many of one type. Like you don't want to have too many mind affecting things because you're fighting undead; they'll be immune to them. But with psionics, you have no choice.
Yeah.
Practically everything is mind affecting.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, all right, well, if someone's immune to mind affecting, I'm screwed.
Now the question is, why us? My question, my theory, if there was even a reasoning other than Dave wanted to make it a cool ending, Einar would, knowing what's about to come, would probably try to put the power into somebody nobody would try looking.
Well, he saw Mortifer kick his grandpa's ass and was like, "Fuck grandpa, Mortifer's cool."
No, I actually I had a whole reason, but I don't know if I should just tell you or if
Well, he was. I think Dave was trying to hoping to have an expose moment. It just didn't play because you know how it is when you have plans, but
Yeah, you
things
want to
that
give the
fall
whole
apart.
spiel. You want
Yeah,
to.
Yeah.
I had a whole like
Come
if
to
I
us
had
in a
moment,
ghost spirit
I'd
vision like
explain what
Obi-Wan.
my reasoning was, but
Well, we're
Obi-Wan
divine rank
us.
0, and we're on our way up towards divine. We're gonna eventually get access to divine magic. Which, how does that
How
work
do
with
you-
Athos?
How do you gain divine ranks?
Well, like I said, basically,
there's really no mechanical way to
yeah,
do it.
basically like gods divine their power via followers and worshippers. Without a worshiper,
So it
without
says a
followers-
demigod has anywhere from a few hundred to a few thousand devoted mortals, and may receive veneration or respect
Lucifer's
from
already
many
got that.
more.
Yeah, but basically we have to start building our own god origin story starting season 3. It's like
Easy.
season 3 is like
The tier gladiator arena, and Mortifer will rack up some fucking worshippers real quick.
It's one of the reasons why the Sorcerer Kings have these people worship them. Is
it
the
gives
idea
them-
of giving themselves divine ability. But the problem is most of the people in the city don't actually worship them. They just fucking fear them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a difference between like doing what somebody says because of tyranny and genuinely worshiping you and believing you are God. You know, and is that, you know,
maybe we can just can gods yeah, no, they absolutely do. Because they're in different oh man, that'd be kind of neat. If it ever got that far and we are ever able to access the astral plane again as gods, shifting from Athos to like
well, the problem is even if you became divine rank 10
Yeah.
or 11, sorry, making you an intermediate deity, you don't have the ability to reconnect the astral plane to Athos.
no, that's something only Dave was doing. It had
Well, Dave did because of something else that was put into place prior, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that kind of like severing can be only chosen by an over god. So like
the
Ao.
god above gods. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It's the entity that was put in place to watch over an entire crystal sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's
Following
getting
all
into-
of this.
Oh,
very-
also you guys don't eat or sleep, but you also don't breathe.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say breathe. That's right.
Hell
It's-
yeah, we can just bury ourselves in the sand.
Oh.
Forever.
No, we'll just hide.
But what's great about this actually is this is like throwing
The
Wade-
ultimate noogie. You can just hold him there forever, Wade. You don't gotta worry. You ain't gonna kill him.
It's interesting because this is like throwing Wade in the deep end when it comes to like D&D.
Good thing Mortifer has
lore.
float.
But what's also interesting and cool about it is like Wade has all these questions and they're the same questions that Mortifer would have. So they would just be able to learn simultaneously, and there's no need to separate like meta knowledge and player and character knowledge.
Yeah,
We get to
exactly.
see that natural growth of Wade and Mortifer at the same time of realizing what you now are and what that comes with. The fun part is, even with whatever knowledge I have, never played in Dark Sun, so there are blind spots even for me as far as like.
And your experience has been very limited. Literally only ever inside one city, in a city that was a historical point in time where things are completely out of the ordinary of what that city usually was like to experience. So,
And the only time I've ever messed with Divinity playing D&D in general was the duo campaign with me and Dave, where I was the anti-paladin.
oh yeah, you played.
then-
No, that's not true. You've played Thunk.
Thonk didn't become a god though.
No. You said divinity, so I thought you meant divine power.
I meant like becoming divine.
a cleric,
And like
yeah.
and he only became divine the last scene of the whole entire campaign. Like he became a god the end.
Actually,
That
you never became a god. You didn't do that.
was-
remember?
did he not?
No, you don't remember what you did. So as
killed him.
as a ball spawn, when they
yeah,
were
yeah,
all
yeah.
dead and you were given the power to choose,
I just
you
resurrected Ball.
chose to give the power. No,
No.
do you not remember your fucking
I
ending?
don't. I don't.
You chose to worship Merkel, Jurgle.
Oh.
Because Jurgle was your Jurgle was your actual god. He was the one that was hiding the whole time.
The divinity ever. I've never.
So
tried.
you just said more or less this power belongs to Jurgle and was taken
That's
from
right,
him,
that's
or he gave it up. I'm going to deliver it back to him.
Yeah, because
and
he gave it up
you
to
were keenly rewarded for it.
That, I forgot about.
You were actually made his chosen because of it,
Yeah.
which is
God here, have some free apples for life.
a chosen of a god is like a diet version of being a demigod.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like the diet version. I just can always eat regular.
Hey, it's a step up from being the no version.
Oh, thank you. What is it? Tenchi. Thunk is Grumsh is Thunk. Oh, Grumsh isn't Thunk. Thunk is Grumsh. I don't think I ever realized that it said that.
Oh yeah, no, that's it's always.
I always thought it said Thunk is Grumsh is Thunk.
No,
Because it's
isn't
Oh,
Donk.
yes.
Obold is Grumsh Grumsh is
Because
Obold.
Donk got impaled on a bridge and died.
How do we?
Well, yeah.
I need to update my Mortifer command to add 10 to my kill list, please.
Yeah, we do have to update that, but I think it's more than 10 because I don't remember how many it is because it was actually Ollie, I believe, is one that always updated it for you.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's
so.
true.
Well, either way, shall we wrap up, Scott?
Yes.
always wrap up before you tap up.
Heyo. I'll start. I'll tell Scott. You're the one running this stream. You start. You
Well, before that, I just want to say that should we do another season of Dark Sun, I would be excited to show you more of what exists in the world of Athos, because it is a very large world of this sucks in every way possible. So, with that being said, hello, my name is Delric. I don't know why I'm going first. It's super rude. Usually the DM goes last, but hey, you can find me by finding Delric. I haven't been streaming that much lately because of, crazy busy life, Christmas time, and then not feeling the best this past week or so. But I'm feeling better now, and I'll be streaming more moving forward. You can find me play video games. What video games? I don't know. Whatever I fucking feel like playing. Maybe I'll finish one. And that's that. Wade, who are you? I think you're
plot
Wade.
twist. I'm Wade.
Whoa!
You can find me at twitch.tv.
All right, neat. Thank you for the talking, Wayne.
Oh, who muted me? Why? How dare you? Twitch.tv/minions.
You're not muted. You're not muted.
You're not muted. You're not
Why
muted
did it keeps
anymore.
popping up and saying I'm muted?
Yeah, you're not muted.
No, you're not muted. You're not muted anymore.
Yeah.
It just popped. Okay, whatever. I'm Wade. Whatever. YouTube Lord Minion 777, Twitch Minion 777, Lord Minion most places. I do podcasts on Tuesdays, Star Wars on Wednesdays, this every other Thursday. However, I imagine we'll at least take a little bit of a break to figure out what we're gonna do with this. But
It's going to take a while to explain Mike how to level up his character. Well, template.
yeah, so it might take 2 Thursdays. I don't know. This show we'll let you know. I hope we do more. Mortifer's a fucking god. He's my favorite character by far.
Candy on a stick.
Goddamn powerhouse.
You're more of like a god hero. You're like a heroic like a
Not
From zero to hero, just like that.
I'll die if Scott never does that again. I'll do anything, please. Dave,
You're what they call a quasi deity or hero deity.
I'm Quasimodo, bitch.
I missed.
I mean, doggies, family friendly.
Go. Dave, what about you?
My name is David. I am an attorney. If anyone has any interest in streaming or has any worries about issues relating to streaming, is anyone copyright striking you or is harassing you online? No. If mostly dealing with copyright strikes.
Scott harassing you online all
I
day.
know. And you can hit me up. You can get me at YouTube Lawyer if you ever want to have any questions. Other than that, I just had my second child, which is the reason why
Congratulations.
we scheduled this whole thing to end around now. So I'm going to jump back into the full belly of fatherhood again. So I look forward to that.
I'm consulting with
Question mark.
Dave right now on something. I trust him to help, so you should too.
All right. Yeah, you can find him where online, YouTube Lawyer, like you said. As for the show, Lost Initiative Show, Lost in It Show, pretty much on Twitter. Last night's episode is already live on the YouTube channel, so you want to go. If you missed last night's Star Wars, it is live. This episode will be live tomorrow for free on YouTube if you're a subscriber. It's
That's
live
a really
right
quick
away.
turnaround. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it a 24-hour turnaround. Give 24-hour exclusivity to subs, and then free on YouTube for everybody else. Other than that, we'll be back next Wednesday because it is the finale of that season as we say goodbye to Maggie. Well, maybe not the season, but at least Maggie's story arc is coming to a close as she departs as well, which was supposed to be last night, but things got out of our hands, and we'll figure that out next week.
Yeah, I was actually not feeling well, and all of us were talking about Wade making dick jokes.
Pretty much. All right, Dave. Not Dave. Scott, take it away. Close us out.
Bye, bitches.
Good enough.